certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive. It's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme. We're too wild. We're too out of control. We're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. How are you? We're getting towards the end of the week, and I got sick. Oh, man. So I passed out this morning after the morning show. I went upstairs, and I was just, I took some medicine. I had some Dayquil. I told you guys that. I said I had Dayquil. And then after the show, I had some more Dayquil. And you know how I said during the morning show, I'm like, I just don't feel right. I feel very sluggish. Now, people were very kind. They loved the show. A lot of likes on this morning's show. I appreciate all the likes, both on Rumble and YouTube. Our Rumble numbers have been through the roof lately, the view counts and whatnot. YouTube's been up as well. Not as drastically, but still solid. This morning, I'm just, oh, man, I'm sluggish. I'm congested and everything else. And, I take another dose of medicine this morning, and I crashed until like 2 in the afternoon, and I woke up, and I was still groggy, and I'm like, I feel like absolute shit. I go to take another dose of Dayquil. So like when SP was here yesterday, she's like, you have Dayquil in the cupboard. Make sure you take that tomorrow morning. And I'm like, shit, I forgot that I had Dayquil in the medicine cabinet. So I'm like, cool. I didn't even look at the bottle. I just took it. Took a swig. I don't measure out and use the cups. I just take a mouthful, like a shot. Just take a shot of Dayquil. I'm good to go. Then today during the show, I'm like, I feel funky, like a monkey, baby. And then I take another dose after the show. I crash till 2. I wake up and I just feel fucked up. Like I don't feel right. I go to take another dose. It's NyQuil the entire time. I'm slow dosing myself with NyQuil all day, and I gotta be honest, I still don't feel right. Like I'm congested, my head feels full, and I don't feel well. But like I also know that I'm still very groggy, and I think it's because I've been double dosing myself with NyQuil, thinking it was Dayquil, like an asshole. But anyway, welcome to the evening show. It's our last show of the week before Rumble Friday. It's our last goal of the week. We are perfect still. Thank you to Ethan. You see him in third place, I think, right now, third or fourth place. Ethan said, I was an hour behind. You're still perfect for the week. And he gave us $100. So thank you very much, Ethan. I didn't have to do that. I could have been a super dishonest piece of shit, but it also means that you guys are $40 ahead. Oh, shit, $40 ahead, not 35. Oh, I almost let you guys be 35 ahead. Oh, it means you guys are starting at 150 for tonight. So thank you so much. So we're 150 away from perfection for the week. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's finish it off. Plankton with $1 says, if you can find it, look for Representative Nick Freitas' response to all of this. It's quite powerful. Red Fox Mad with $1 says, how's the cold? You look handsome for being sick. I feel handsome for being sick. It's been a weird last couple of days. And now with the NyQuil and everything else, oh boy, I'm going to scroll back in the chat because there's a lot of people shitting on me for that, and I don't want to miss any of it. Jack Brennan, good to see you again, buddy. $20. Let's give him his Alex Jones.
I have sworn on the altar of God, total resistance against every form of tyranny, against the mind of men.
Thank you very much, Jack Brennan. Honestly, I've never heard of Charlie Kirk before this tragic incident, so I watched one of his videos where he's talking about Jesus, the Bible, Leviticus, etc., and I shot my computer monitor. Couldn't help it. Hey, before you shit on Jack Brennan, there always has to be the guy who finds out when it's not too soon anymore, you know? There had to be one guy who told the first 9/11 joke, all right? In my professional opinion, Jack Brennan is being a hero. Joey Caravello with $5 says, would you ever suck on Chrissy Mayer's titties? If I was single and she was single and she put her titty in my mouth, I would suck on it. I don't know. That's such a fucked up question. If you ask me if I'd suck a woman's titty, if I'm single and they're single, my answer is always going to be, sure, why the hell not? Because there's nothing binding me to that answer. I don't have to follow through with that. She's married. I'm in a relationship. I don't like the way she's talked about me the last year and a half. She doesn't like the way I've talked about her the last year and a half. But I will honestly say that if you ask me a titty sucking question, I'm just going to go. I think that's a yes and thing. I think you have to be yes man on shit like that. Thank you, Joey Caravello. Wonderful to have you. Thank you guys very much for all the nice things you've been saying about our Charlie Kirk coverage. I do appreciate it. I hate talking about it, but I'm fascinated to talk about it. It's a fascinating topic to me. It's really interesting. I have a lot of thoughts that are developing in real time. We saw that this morning. I saw people sharing around steel toe clips of it. We put out 2 new clips today. Share them around. Subscriber count's been going up. I appreciate that. Someone sent me a message today and goes, I think you found your bread and butter. This is what you should be doing. I said, well, I appreciate that. I like doing a little bit of everything, but if this is something that's really entertaining to you, well, goddamn, thanks for the compliment. But we're going to talk a lot about who killed Charlie Kirk tonight. I don't want to keep going over the same ground. Like we did the live coverage of the shooting when he was pronounced dead. We kind of wrapped it up after that. Last night, we kind of went over how everyone's feeling about it. This morning, we went over a lot of the media reactions, also how we're feeling about it. Tonight, it's going to be more about who killed him, why we think it was whoever killed him, and we're going to go through a lot of that. We've also got some news. South Park has removed their Charlie Kirk episode. I think South Park got a lot of shit for that for no reason. They made fun of a guy on a satirical show. He wasn't dead when they made fun of him. Charlie Kirk even laughed at it. He goes, it's South Park. It's funny. He didn't have a problem with it. Nice of them to pull the episode. They didn't have to. I think it's the right call, but they didn't have to do it. So nice on Matt and Trey's part. We've also got some, I'm sorry for all the bad news, guys. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it's just everywhere. I don't know if you saw this about an hour ago. Jerry the King Lawler suffered a stroke. Not dead. They said he is on the road to recovery, but he was forced to pull out of an appearance after suffering a stroke. The WWE Hall of Famer is already on the road to recovery. He is home. Jerry's ex-fiance and caregiver says he experienced the medical issue in Florida last Friday at one of his homes. Luckily, he says his daughter is taking him back to his primary residence where he will rest up for a few more weeks before getting back to normal. Jerry's had some, a real rough go of it the last few years. I think how long ago was it where he had that heart attack where he almost died on Raw? He didn't have a pulse. They had to bring him back to life. Holy shit, that was 13 years ago already? Damn, 13 years ago, Jerry Lawler had a heart attack live on Monday Night Raw. Suffered a stroke in 2018. Had a massive stroke in 2023, was in the ICU for a few days. Yeah, so Jerry's been through it. That's for sure. Looks pretty good, though. There's him in February of 2025. I mean, for a guy who's had a near fatal heart attack and 3 strokes, I mean, he's shit. If you can still hold that crown and wave your hand, you're doing all right. But it doesn't seem like, it's not like a Hulk Hogan life-threatening thing. It does seem like he's already home. Let's go to some of your guys. Let's go through the chat. Let's catch up with the chat. Then I have a gift from a fan that was sent in that's right here. I want to show you that today. And then we'll get into some of the news we have. And eventually, more Charlie Kirk stuff. I can promise you it's not going to be all Charlie. Oh, yes, Nader P says you were in a starch coma from all the potatoes. Yeah, on today's show, we had a great conversation about the late, great Charlie Kirk. We had a great show in general. But at one point, it was either hobo or it was roots. They started a rumor that I carry not just mashed potatoes in my pocket, but instant mashed potatoes. I carry them in my pockets, and apparently I reach in, I grab handfuls of mashed potatoes while I'm out and about, and I eat them. I deny these charges. I do not walk around with instant mashed potatoes or any mashed potatoes for that matter in my pockets. But, the truth gets, a lie gets around the world before the truth has a chance to put its pants on. Boozmock says you took 2 shots and didn't realize you are a true tard. You're right, man. It made sense, though. Like, me feeling like shit made sense right after I looked. I went, oh, man. My Lost Interest says, when can we get back to simply goofing on Aaron? Well, mashed taters. There you go. There's your opening. Nader P says, I was dropping jokes about Charlie Kirk stuff this morning. You ignored them. I didn't ignore them. It's just, these last couple shows have been very busy. I'm going, to a lot of stuff. To quote the late, great Keanu. Oh, I said the late, great Keanu Thompson. Keanu is not dead. To quote Keanu Thompson, there was a lot of bing, 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 boom, 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 bing, 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 bang, bang, bang. So I was bouncing around. Boozmock says, did you see Mersh had 1,200 on Rumble last night talking Kirk? Nice work. That's pretty good. Rusty Grammar, well, that has the N-word in it. I'm going to skip that one. Nader P says, breaking news. Spirit Halloween has moved into Turning Point USA's empty pop-up tent. Now that's... Harry Ball says possible active shooter at Naval Academy. Yeah, it was a guy who was discharged not too recently. And he fired some shots today. I don't really know what exactly the details on that are. It's just... I saw that story this afternoon when I woke up, and I'm just like, fuck, I just didn't have another shooting in me. I didn't have another fucking sad, depressing story. I was just like, I was talking to SP before this show, and I'm like, one more show talking about Charlie Kirk, and I'm like, I feel like tomorrow for Rumble Link Friday, everyone's going to want to goof off and do some, can blow off some steam. Some people might send in some Charlie Kirk clips, and that's fine. We can watch them. But, like, a lot of people are going to want, like, a shitload of Sean and Marley and goofy shit. Wouldn't be the end of the world, right? Redbird with $1 says, so is the stick of butter in your ass to stop the gravy from running down your legs? I don't have mashed potatoes in my pockets. I don't have gravy in my pockets. All right? Rusty Grammar says, don't fool yourselves. Aaron keeps butter sticks in his pockets, too, in case the taters get dry. I had people leaving comments on today's episode. They were saying things like, great show, Spud Dud. They called me the Spud Dud because now I keep mashed potatoes in my pockets. Fauci's Pangolin says Aaron's favorite song is Do You Love Me because he can mash potatoes and do the twist. Thanks. Chad Boozmock says, think you missed it, but sent you DM with shooter. I do have it. When we get into the Kirk stuff, I will go and get it. I promise you. Numero Uno says, why does no one have the guts to ask the real question? Was Charlie vaxxed? I think, don't we? We know that, right? Like, we know Charlie Kirk was not vaccinated. I don't think we needed to ask. Raz of Chaz with $2 says, I can't send my chat in a rant. Please read. How fucked up is your chat that Rumble won't let you send it? Israel bombs another country. Well, that might be why. Trump's birthday card to Epstein. Blacks are killing whites. Tranny church shooter. Tranny church shooter. And now look, everyone. Charlie Kirk distraction. Nothing else to see here. I don't know. Sometimes a lot of bad shit happens all at once, too. K-Fall in the Great with $5 on YouTube. Says Aaron's got instant taters. One bucket. God, I can't. It's the congestion. I can't speak. Aaron's got instant taters, one pocket. Tupperware of butter in the other with a camp knife that splits and makes a spoon and fork. I mean, it's just ridiculously untrue. I don't know how to deny these rumors any more vehemently. Hit like, hit follow, hit subscribe. Thank you guys very much. Aaron, would you ever join the Klan? No, I'm straight. I'm good, thanks. I'm okay. My Lost Interest says, I don't get it, Aaron. Why do you keep mashed potatoes in your pockets and not in a safe deposit box like a normal person? Is that where they're putting them now? Text coming in. Aaron tends to speak people out of existence, so check on Keanu this weekend. Oh, no, I might have just killed Kiki. If your reaction to that is not, oh, Aaron, then don't. Feel free not to write anything. Okay? Oh. Turtle Steel Shell says, you're stammering like you're navigating a landmine field or something. Not gonna get away from landmine field last night, am I? Didn't think so. Loaded Wrench with $2 says, Aaron Idahote. It's fucking stupid. Now you guys are stupid as shit. This does not reflect on me at all. That is so dumb, that's not even good. Stop it. All right, let's go to Boozmock's DM here. I want to go ahead and grab that real quick. We're not on the Charlie Kirk stuff. We got a couple other. I didn't want to just go all in, all the Charlie Kirk stuff. 4chan is reporting the shooter is trans. If you haven't seen this yet, high school photo of Sky Valadiz had a song called Charlie Kirk Dead on 31 on his SoundCloud. She, her pronouns on Facebook, lives in Salt Lake City metro area. Oh, I don't want to show people my Well, now they're going to know. Lil Mir told me that I had a great show today. I was really happy to hear that. I told him, tell that Joe Blow, what's that guy? What's Jomo? I said, tell Jomo to take his pills. Jesus Christ. That Jomo guy's a little too hard in the paint. He's writing his own fan fiction. I'm just running around punching bitches, according to Jomo. Anissa Jomo. I don't. Okay, well, if 4chan says it's a trans shoot, I don't buy it. But then again, I have my anti-Israel bias. Let's be very honest about that. I have my anti-Israel bias. I gotta be careful. Look, man, the way this person escaped and the way they're eluding capture, to me, this just doesn't seem like some random mentally ill trans person. They usually blow their own head off or they get caught right away. There's a good chance that this person made it to that airport. That plane left an hour after the shooting. It takes 45 minutes to get to that airport. And then you have it disappearing from radar, then appearing over an hour later, and it lands with no passengers. I'm sorry. Like, that's just like, you got to have somebody else helping you out. That's not a one-man type of production. I don't buy it. Red Fox Man with $1 says, Keanu is so beautiful naked. I loved her OnlyFans account. Aaron knows he's seen her naked too. I've not seen Keanu naked. I have not. Telling you. I missed my I missed my chat here. Oh, Taste Fairy Ialto says the steel tater toe. That's spud toe bullshitting show. None of these are good. You're all just hurting yourselves. Power Windows says TMZ reporting of having the video of the shooter on the Ring camera. We have that for tonight. Yes, we do have that one. Taste Fairy Ialto raises a good point. 4chan has a pretty good track record about this shit. That's true. They're usually pretty good. Although, do we really ever know about their misses? $10 from Wally World says you should have taken some of Johnny's horse paste. That would have cleared up your cold. SP seems to think it could still be allergies. I don't know. I don't know if it's allergy. I'm hoping she's right. I'm hoping I wake up tomorrow and this is all cleared up. But it feels like worse than that. Feels like worse than that. 120 away from today. Thank you, Wally, for the $10. We appreciate that so much. Hot tater shoe show. These don't make any fucking sense. None of these potato jokes. I mean, you guys are trying so many of these that they've lost their starch. These jokes certainly aren't the top of the tater. With the potato. I don't know, man. You guys aren't a king of these jokes like King Julien. With the jokes are pretty crinkle. Well, you get the idea. You get the idea. People also theorizing that I have AIDS. Okay, so now we can move on. We officially have the diagnosis. You heard it here first. I have AIDS, and it's about over. Pumpkin Popsum's becoming a member for 39 months on YouTube. Says, thanks for keeping us entertained in this madness. We need to laugh or the anger is going to overwhelm us. This one got me, and I wasn't a big Charlie Kirk guy, but I have been angry about this. Thank you to those of you who have said that the show's helping you. It's helping me too, because I'm having very dark thoughts about this. I'm having thoughts that like challenge my belief in actual democracy and wondering if it's just, I go down a weird road that I have to stop myself from, because I just go, geez, no, let's not go down that road. It's not necessary. But this show is helping me as well. So thank you guys very much for being here. As much as it's helping you, it's helping me. We're all getting something out of it. Let's go to the text. Says, great potato joke, fag. All right, let's not go to the text. That's not necessary. Let's show the gift. And then we've got some Minnesota stories. We got a detail about that. The Vance Boelter, that shooting from a while back. Then we're going to shit all over Ilhan Omar, who's a piece of shit. And then we got some information on the shooter tonight. Numero uno with $1 says, haven't heard much about old 9/11 today. You think if it came out, the steel beams had trans iconography carved into them, people would hashtag never forget. Did anyone see the report that came out that said officials with the ATF are like, we didn't release that transcribed trans doodles on the cartridges or whatever people are reporting? We're not saying that is fact. Like, that's just somebody came out with that shit. I try to ignore as much of the fog of war shit as I can. And also, just the way this person has evaded capture, I think there's going to be a lot of false flag shit coming out. I just think there's going to be a lot of stuff. They're going to point it towards trans people. They're going to want us to fight trans people and go after. Somebody's trying to take this country down from the inside. This country is too big, too strong, too huge of a military, too big of an economy for anyone to face it head on and take it down from the outside. You've got to rip it apart from the inside. And I'm sorry, I don't believe that there's a revolution being launched by less than 1% of the population. I just don't. Dexter Morgan says it's real, and ATF cop sent it to Crowder. Well, and then the rest of the ATF said, it's not something we're reporting. So even if it is, I think it's a false flag. I do. I think it's some kind of false flag deal. I just don't see a guy. I don't see someone just being a lone wolf gunman like this, being able to escape and disappear and vanish into thin air like this. Then you got that guy, George Zinn. He gets arrested first. Was he running a distraction so the shooter could get away? I don't know. I have no idea. But it's weird. It's not adding up. All right, let's I want to show you this gift I got. Then we're going to get into some things. So this came from Chips and Diff. It came with a note. I think you always read the card first on your gifts. This came in the mail today. Lucky mail. It says, please install this on the ledge behind you during WPH. Thank you. Do you guys want to see what the gift is? Would you like to see what the gift that Chips and Diff gave me was? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There you go. There's my gift from Chips and Diff. Where's the best spot for it? Right there? If I'm doing the show like this, can we? Yeah, there it is. That thing, I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone. That thing is loud as fuck. I have my headphones on and I can hear that thing just in the background. Thank you so much, Chips and Diff. This is one of my favorite fan gifts we've ever gotten. Thank you so much. All right, there we go. I guess what? $30 in the next 5 minutes, and we'll put the green siren out there twice a show like we usually do. Thank you. We're able to monetize this now. I appreciate it, Chips and Diff. Thank you so much for the gift.
Let your Patreon.
Here we go. Oh, yeah. So this came out. Now, a lot of people have been posting clips of this. Thank you for sending it to me, Bapa Shab. I'm going to find the shorter clip version so we don't have to go through the whole 17 minutes. We'll do this when we go through the Who Killed Charlie Kirk part of tonight's show. Charlie Kirk did his last interview ever 2 days ago with Ben Shapiro. And it's fascinating to hear Charlie's evolution on Israel. And then people were saying the next day Charlie gets killed. Do you think this is a coincidence? And a lot of people are using this as a way to say Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's murder. Let me say why I don't think the clip we're going to watch later is the reason. Even Mossad, I don't think can organize an assassination in less than 24 hours like that. I mean, Charlie Kirk was shot he was shot like 16 hours after that interview, 20 hours after that interview. I don't think they're putting that together in that amount of time. Now, that doesn't mean I don't think that Israel didn't have a hand in it, or the deep state here, the FBI, the CIA, didn't have a hand in it, because Charlie Kirk was influential with young people. He was going to universities, which have been a liberal haven for a long time, and he was having an impact. And he was Christian, and he was white, and he was a father, and he had a nuclear family. Everything they've been trying to destabilize in this country. So I do think it was psychological warfare on the American people, and it is working. I just don't know if it's CIA, FBI. Like, I believe our country was involved in the Trump assassination attempts. I don't think Israel had anything to do with that. You know, for those of you who think that I think Israel's behind everything, I don't think they had anything to do with the Trump assassination attempt. I don't know if it could have been our FBI, it could have been our CIA that had Charlie Kirk killed, because we know they don't like MAGA, and he might have been the heir apparent. You know, J.D. Vance is safe. He's got Peter Thiel behind him. Charlie Kirk was his own man. Well, as much as his own man he could be. So I think that there might have been a lot of fear of Charlie Kirk. Could Israel have done it? It's tough because he still was a supporter. I know he was starting to veer off the reservation a little bit, but he was still a pro-Israel guy and probably would have continued to be a pro-Israel guy. A lot of it was connected to his faith. You know, a lot of these Christians think that they got to be buddy-buddy with Israel, which doesn't make any fucking sense. But I probably lean more towards our FBI or CIA helping someone do this. I don't think that necessarily the person who shot him was a CIA or FBI agent, but they could have been working with them. Also could have been Mossad. 100% could have been Mossad. I just don't know enough yet. Let's do the Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro clip, though, that people are talking about. Because people are saying, oh, this could mean that, Israel, Israel went after Charlie for his opinions and this and that. I don't know if it happens that quickly, but let's take a look.
Charlie, we've pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border. It's like maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years. So, Ben, some people would accuse Israel of wanting to ethnically cleanse. Some people in the Israeli government are saying, again, it's all over the place, right? You have opinions all over. In your opinion, what would a good outcome 5 years from now be, and how does one respond to the claims of ethnic cleansing?
Now, I'll tell you why I don't like this clip. I want to hear what fucking Ben Shapiro's response to it is. Everyone's putting up the 39-second clip, but I would like to see Ben's response. You know what? Maybe I should have gone with the 17-minute clip. I don't know. I lean towards the powers that be in this country trying to foment civil unrest with maybe a little Israel influence. Rusty Grammar with $1 says every problem the world has comes back to a common denominator, JEW. Well, yeah, I don't know. My IDF and Mossad contacts, not cool with the agendas in play. Can't find anything tying Israel to Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I lean more towards this being an American inside job, because I think this is all MAGA related. I think if you follow the people who tried to kill Donald Trump, I think you might find the answers. Nobody gets away like this. Who's the last guy that's gotten away? The Boston Marathon bomber got away for a little bit, and they caught him in that person's backyard under their boat tarp. What assassin has ever gotten away like this? Do we need to send Jacob Rubenstein out to see if we can sniff the guy out? Red Fox Mad says, I will always be a huge Charlie fan. He was a big supporter of this country and the Christians. Bop Bashab says it was a collaborative effort between multiple agencies. I'm done thinking that this shit just happens anymore. There's too much. There's too much going on for this to be a thing that just happens. I just don't think anything like this just happens without somebody giving the thumbs up and giving the okay. It's just history doesn't bear that out, is all. We've got an update on Vance Boelter. Let's play this real quick, and then you guys are hot and heavy for the Charlie Kirk stuff. We're going to go into who killed Charlie Kirk tonight and some more shitty takes from people, including Ilhan Omar, who are just being complete pieces of shit.
To hold Boelter accountable for what he did in this county.
Our top stories tonight: the man accused of murdering State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, and the attempted murder of another lawmaker and his wife faces new state charges tonight. A Minnesota grand jury indicted Vance Boelter on first-degree murder and other charges.
Fox 9's Mike Manzoni is live outside the county attorney's office in Minneapolis tonight. These state charges are in addition to federal charges he's already facing. And Mike, we also learned some new detail today.
Kelsey and Randy, investigators had initially said that there was a shootout between Boelter and police that morning back in June. They now say that he never shot at officers.
Okay.
The officers did shoot in his direction. Boelter faces first-degree murder charges now in the shooting deaths of the Hortmans, as well as first-degree attempted murder charges in the shootings of State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette, who survived. He also faces an animal cruelty charge after prosecutors say he shot and paralyzed the Hortmans' dog Gilbert.
Oh, fucking hang him. I didn't know that the guy shot a dog, too. I love that animal cruelty charge. Could you imagine the plea bargaining negotiations? Like, all right, if he pleads guilty on the murder charges and the attempted murder charges, we'll drop the animal cruelty charge. What do you say? Come on, this is the best deal you're going to get. Actually, knowing Minnesota, they'd probably get, hey, if he pleads guilty on the animal cruelty, we'll drop the murder, all right? No contest to the attempted murder, guilty on the animal abuse, we'll drop the murder charges. You know, we believe in second chances here in the Gopher State.
who was later euthanized. Prosecutors say Boelter also showed up at 2 other lawmakers' homes that morning, including State Representative Kristen Bonner's house in Maple Grove. He faces an attempted murder charge for that. The county attorney explained her decision to prosecute Boelter at the state level, even as he faces similar federal charges.
Well, and that's the whole thing, is that, like, with George Floyd, people are like, what? Oh, is Donald Trump gonna is he gonna pardon Derek Chauvin? It really wouldn't matter, because Derek Chauvin is serving time for a federal and state beef. So Trump could pardon him on the federal one, but the state one would most likely still stand. Taste Very Ialto says, male cop, Doggo did die. Doggo did die, yes, unfortunately. Also, regarding Vance Boelter, you guys, I have some terrible news for you. His wife has filed for divorce this week. I wonder what happened. You know, it's marriages are a fickle thing. I wonder if they were fighting a lot, you know, because of the murder. It's too bad. That would be a fucking...
Let your patriotic value...
That would be a funny, retarded question to ask the wife. Like, she comes to her family, she's like, I filed for divorce from Vance. And they're like, oh my God, what happened? He murdered people. Yeah, but did you die? You stay with your husband. Whatever happened to stand by your man? Jesus. Didn't Chauvin's wife stay married to him? Or no, she divorced him because they needed to be able to split up dough or something like that. I think Chauvin's wife did divorce him. God, all these broads, you know, you kill a few people and they just drop you flat. It's unbelievable. All right, let's play a little bit of this Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro conversation, because there are people out there online who are saying that perhaps this could have had something to do with Charlie being killed. I'm going to go on record as I think about it, that I think that forces at play, intelligence forces and deep state forces here in the United States, had something to do with assisting whoever killed Charlie Kirk. I don't necessarily think it was Mossad. Could they have played a role? Maybe in like an outside role, maybe. But I think this was the same people who tried to kill Trump. And the reason being, Trump is 80. He's going to have his 4 years. They took their shot and they missed. Let him run out the clock. It seems like they've got him blackmailed enough where nothing too crazy is going to happen. But with Charlie Kirk, he was 31, no scandals, beautiful family, Christian guy, empowering young white Christian men to be proud of themselves. And that doesn't work for the deep state. And so he had to go. Again, I don't think it's just some crazed trans libtard. I don't think they get away. And how does some crazed liberal trans college kid be able to afford a private jet that shuts off the radar? And that's all just intelligence shit. So I don't buy it. And I do think that the shooter was on that plane. And if they're in Tel Aviv, then I'm wrong. If they're in Mexico, I'm right. Or in Langley, for God's sake. But this was Charlie Kirk talking to Ben Shapiro. Let's skip around a little bit here. And maybe, I mean, again, I'm willing to admit I was wrong. I'm willing to say that, you know, Charlie Kirk got in trouble for this, but I don't know.
Bombed Qatar, which houses a lot of Hamas officials. What happened here? And if I were to introduce just a skeptical question, will this potentially endanger America's own interests in the Middle East? So please, Ben, help me better understand this.
Because what happens is Israel bombs the fuck out of these places, and then America has to go talk to these places and talk them down. We got to go in there, like Israel's the drunk guy in the bar picking fights with everybody. We got to go around handing out $20, $100 bills, going, he didn't mean it, he drinks a lot, I'm really sorry, I'm going to talk to him about it, I promise. And our friend's been kicked out of 109 bars for fighting people all the time. Or fucking with people at these bars. He gets shit-faced. He fucks with everyone. 109 bars in town have kicked him out. We're trying not to make it 110. And so we're going around, you know, basically bribing people with foreign aid, going, oh, he just, you know, he gets drunk and he doesn't mean it. And I'm really sorry. We'll take care of you. What do you need? We'll make this right. We end up picking up the tab. And by the way, don't ask Ben Shapiro for a fair opinion on this. Ben is an Israel guy. He's not America first. He's Israel first. Ben is going to defend Israel over this country anytime.
Sure. So I think that the lead up to understand here is that Qatar sort of plays both sides when it comes to its negotiating stance between Hamas and Israel and the United States. So it has provided extraordinary material support to Hamas directly, billions of dollars in material support.
Oh, yeah. Ben, are you going to tell the story about that? How did Qatar end up getting all those billions of dollars to Hamas? Oh, that's right. Benjamin Netanyahu encouraged them to. Fucking asshole.
To Hamas, the leadership of Hamas have been living in Qatar for years at five-star hotels. Hamas's priorities have been pressed by Qatar in negotiations multiple times. Qatar has not put significant pressure on Hamas in the past to release the hostages or
sure, and we let Israeli cabinet pedophiles go back to Tel Aviv and not show up for court. What's your fucking point, Ben?
End the war. And so basically, as Israel nears the end of the war, which is what this last movement in Gaza City is supposed to be,
occupation, taking it over. You haven't left a fucking building standing.
There's a final offer that was put on the table actually by the Trump administration that essentially said that Hamas should release the remaining 48 hostages, meaning 28 dead bodies and 20 alive hostages. And the United States would then guarantee, through its own honest brokerage, some sort of end to the war that would result in the disarming of Hamas and the movement of the Gaza Strip to presumably some sort of coalitional government supported by regional states and the rebuilding of the area. And
Israel should have to pay for the rebuilding of Gaza. 100%. Israel should have to fund a Marshall Plan for Gaza as war reparations. They attacked civilians. They killed civilians. They targeted civilian structures. They targeted hospitals, targeted schools. They should have to pay war reparations. I don't know, at least give them the next round of American funding at $4 billion a year and rebuild the place. And then Hamas, Hamas can go away. Hamas is a fucking problem. Let's let the people of Gaza and the West Bank choose their government, build some kind of coalition. I agree with that. But like in the meantime, Israel is fucking shit up. And they're bombing Syria, and they're bombing Qatar, and they're bombing Lebanon, and they're bombing Iran. And all while we go to the bar and remember when we had to negotiate with Iran, how we could bomb each other? America was like, hey, take all your people out of that chemical or nuclear place, and we're going to drop some bunker busters in there. You can launch a shitload of missiles at us. We'll make sure that our guys are out of the way, and everybody, we'll put some holes in the ground. That's what we have to do. Israel starts a bunch of shit, and then America has to choreograph and pantomime a situation so that we can prevent World War III.
Qatar was pushing Hamas, apparently, we heard. And Hamas this morning in Arabic actually rejected it. That's not been widely reported by the media, but it's true. Hamas actually rejected the American offer. The president had put out via Truth Social a statement saying, this is your last chance, and if you don't do that, bad things are going to happen. The idea that Israel would be able to fly 10 F-16s all the way across the Middle East to Qatar to strike a very specific terror target in Doha without American knowledge beggars the imagination. It is extraordinarily unlikely.
Israel's never been dishonest with us or hid intelligence before. Israel's never known something was going to happen to America. Did this motherfucker really say that 2 days before 9/11? What's today? Today's September the 11th, right? Never forget that Ben's country knew and didn't tell us. Urban Moving Company, right? Oh, the fact that Israel could fly across to Doha, Qatar, and then bomb it without America knowing is crazy. That would be like saying a bunch of stinky Saudis and Egyptians could hijack a bunch of planes and crash them into the World Trade Center, and Israel would know about it and America wouldn't. Yeah, that'd be fucking filthy, right? You'd be a really shitty friend if you did that.
To say the very least, it would not be wildly improbable if Qatar knew that was coming as well. And so Israel struck at the top level of the remaining Hamas in Qatar in an attempt to basically change the negotiating status. So the basic idea here is if you will not negotiate, if you refuse to get to the end of this war, well, then maybe we'll find somebody who can. Or
you understand he's pulling this out of his ass, right? Ben Shapiro creates a reality that he can support and then goes, who could argue with that? The fact that you pulled it out of your asshole, yeah. It doesn't mean that that's what's actually happening on the ground. It's just that that's what you've convinced yourself is happening. And then you create a straw man or a steel man, and then you defend it. Well, prove me wrong. I can't. I'm not in the fucking room. Neither are you. That's the point.
Maybe the idea is that you're safe nowhere until this war ends. additional pressure had to be brought to bear, and that's why Israel did.
Let's go to Charlie.
What it did.
Opinions on it. I certainly do. But that it is unconditional surrender. Is that what Israel is aiming for here? I suppose that is a question that I get a lot on campus. What does success look like? Because I think
Israel wants Gaza, they want the West Bank, they want southern Lebanon, and they want territory in Syria. They want the Sinai Peninsula is what they want. They want greater Israel.
we could all agree a long war is not good for Israel, a long, drawn-out war, and we're coming towards 2 years in about a month, so it's been about 23 months. So what...
We all agree that Israel let October 7th happen, right? Because Benjamin Netanyahu's government was on the verge of collapsing. He was facing all kinds of corruption charges. He allowed this false flag. He allowed this attack to happen so he could go and galvanize the country through war and go try and take Gaza. And didn't the bombing and all that shit, didn't the Iran bombing start just before he was supposed to face charges in the world court? That guy's good. That's the thing. Like, you can say a lot about Benjamin Netanyahu. Fucker's smart, man.
Does ultimate success look like in the Gaza Strip?
Now, my main critique of the Netanyahu administration in Israel and the Netanyahu government is they didn't move faster. I think this should have been a much more accelerated process.
Right. Ben will always say this about Israel. He'll always say, my big critique of them is they didn't just go faster, harder, and kill more Muslims.
Israel set out at the beginning of this war with two goals, as articulated by the Israeli government. Goal number one was to get as many hostages out as humanly possible to free the hostages. And second was to win the war. In many ways, those are mutually exclusive goals, because if you actually wish to win the war, then you have to do things militarily that are going to involve actual movement on the ground. And meanwhile, Hamas is attempting to basically use the hostages as its own form of human shields. They've used their own civilians as human shields. They're also using the hostages as a form.
Every time Israel wholesale slaughters the shit out of civilians, it's always Hamas's fault, to Ben. Israel's never done anything wrong ever. I will say, Charlie lets Ben Shapiro go on these long-winded rants. Let's go to Charlie's next question.
Situation. I know that it's impossible for anyone to listen to everything that you ever say, but looking at this from an American perspective, what else would you say things could have been handled differently? Maybe on the PR front, maybe also just on a conduct front. Where would you say, as an outsider, things that could have been handled better, more efficiently, or with more precision?
This is a great question by Charlie. I want to watch this fucking worm wiggle around and go, wow, actually, I think Israel could have been way awesomer and way cooler and way better. You're not going to get Ben to say that Israel did this bad or Israel did this wrong. His only critique of Israel will be, I wish we would have been so much more awesome than we already were.
So number one, there's no such thing as a perfect war. So obviously in any war, there are going to be things that happen that are ugly and that are terrible. And
yes, I agree. There's no such thing as a perfect war, but there is such a thing as genocide. And you guys have managed to pull that one off.
That is why war is a terrible thing. As far as a sort of operational front, again, I've spent an awful lot of time in Israel. I've watched tape of...
He's a dead-eyed sociopath. He really, like, you just look at his eyes and he's just dead inside. Like, he really is just a unfeeling robot.
Operations happening, drone operations. I've met with an enormous number of Israeli soldiers, young men and women.
Wax your eyebrows!
Legitimately their limbs blown off going house to house in an area where they didn't have to. The charge that Israel has been indiscriminate.
I agree. They didn't have to be there. Stay in your own fucking country.
In its use of force in the Gaza Strip is an absurdity on its face. Israel has complete air superiority over the Gaza Strip. If it wanted to level the place and turn it into a parking lot October 8th, it certainly had the military capacity to do so. It has not done that. Instead, it has sacrificed legitimately 1,000 of its own young men, particularly in these areas, and thousands more who are wounded for the rest of their lives, going house to house in an attempt to prevent all that, and is currently shipping in 4,400 calories per day per person into the Gaza Strip, much of which is then stolen by Hamas. So that... Oh,
okay. It's all Hamas. Every day, it's always Hamas's fault. You guys don't shoot 72 people waiting in line for food. No, Israel gets 4,400. First of all, anytime they count the calories per day per person, they're fucking lying. Because that's supposed to make you go, oh my, well, that's a crazy number. That's pretty good. They're fucking with you. And also, just because Israel ships it in doesn't mean they're giving it to the people.
That is not to say that any war is perfect. This war has been conducted in about as meticulous way as any urban war in history. Just because.
So Charlie Kirk goes, hey, Ben, what could Israel have done better? What has Israel done that's bad that it could have done better? And Ben's like, fuck if I know. Can't think of a goddamn thing. As a matter of fact, it was just like I said, we've been too careful and too nice. We've lost 1,000 soldiers, G. Willikers. You want to go ahead and give me the latest Gaza count, dead civilians? 60,000. Cool. How many Hamas fighters did they say existed? 20,000? It's interesting.
War is ugly doesn't mean that it's being fought wrongly. And I think that the main mistake that Israel has made is misunderstanding how public relations works, in the sense that they couldn't have presented this war in a better, kinder way that people would have loved, but they could have.
What mistakes has Israel made, Ben, in these 60,000 people they've killed? Or this, he could have said, we didn't need to shoot 72 people waiting in line for food. That was wrong. No, he's like, well, we just need to get better at PR when it comes to. It's maddening. And then he'll look around and he'll go, what's with all this anti-Semitism? You don't understand why people might hate you specifically? You don't see why you might be hated? And he writes that off. He's like, it's because I'm Jewish. It's anti-Semitism. No, you're a sociopathic, genocidal maniac. There's something wrong with you. Your parents done fucked up. They didn't love you. You weren't hugged enough. You haven't experienced love as a child. Somebody fucked you up, dude. Charlie asks him point blank, what'd you guys fuck up? We didn't let the world know how fucking nice and awesome we are. Jack Brennan with $10 says Ben Shapiro looks like he's AI, or at least a Just for Men client. Loaded Wrench with $5 says my uncle is a cop in that area. He pulled over a moving van that had 5 dancing trans in the back. Sorry, it's a comedy show. Thank you. Danger Bear Wolf Turtle with $4.99 says if he waxes his eyebrows, will that take away his Jewishness? I don't know. That's a good point. I'm not sure.
Done is move faster. And the reality is that the American way of doing war is to win as fast as possible. And we don't like long, drawn-out occupations. We don't like long, drawn-out military operations. That's
could have fooled me. We did it for about 20 years. Must have been something about it we liked.
In Iraq, it's true in Afghanistan, it's true in Ukraine, it's true in the Gaza Strip. And so the kind of things that we Americans like to see are, for example...
Don't say we Americans. You ain't an American, motherfucker. We know where your loyalties lie. American soldier versus Israeli soldier. We know who you value more.
The operations against Hezbollah that took about 3 weeks to 5 weeks, or the operation against Iran, which took about 12 days. Right? Those are operations that any ally of the United States can sustain. Long operations like the one that Israel has been performing in the Gaza Strip are inherently very, very difficult from PR level. And I'm not sure.
It's not about PR. You fucking lied. You said it was about October 7th. You got him back. You kept going. This is about conquest, ethnic cleansing, and occupation.
To be frank, that there is a way for Israel to, quote unquote, win the PR war in the middle of a very long war against an intransigent terrorist enemy.
There is a way to win the PR war. Act like the good guys.
Legitimately embeds itself in the most damaging places.
A claim I receive often, and we're starting our campus tour tomorrow, is that Israel's...
that sucks to hear. So this was Tuesday, this interview. We're starting our campus tour tomorrow. Fuck.
Committing genocide. How do you respond to that, Ben?
Oh, how do you think he's going to respond? Yeah, totally true. Actually, in his mind, he's like, I wish we would genocide those Muslim pigs. Go ahead and go back to anything Ben Shapiro, especially when he was younger, said about Muslims. He's fucking disgusting, dude. Like, even if you don't like Muslims, you have a serious issue with Islam or whatever, you read some of the stuff Ben Shapiro's written and said about Islam, it's fucking gross. He is the poster boy of that Jewish supremacy that feels that all non-Jews are like pigs and dogs and they're beneath him. He feels that way about Muslims. He's called them like mud people and shit. He's fucking gross.
There's literally no definition of genocide by which Israel is committing a genocide. Typically, a genocide involves the targeted killing of the vast majority of the population, or at least an attempt.
Bombing hospitals, bombing schools, shooting people in line for food, talking about how you want to move them all off that land and keep it for Israel. That's what the Greater Israel movement is, you shill.
attempt to do so. There has never been a genocide attempted in world history in which the food that was being shipped in was more than the daily caloric intake of the...
It doesn't mean you're distributing it to the people. You're literally shipping it in for show and then going, see, we're sending in food. Hamas must be getting it. As defined by the United States Holocaust Museum. Give me a different Jeff definition. Fuck that. The deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group. I only had to get to one definition of genocide to find a definition of genocide that fits what Israel's doing, Ben. You're a liar and you're not even a good one.
Average American into the areas where you're supposedly attempting to genocide the population.
I think this guy gets off on the murder. I think this guy gets off on the killing.
The total population loss in the Gaza Strip thus far has been 3%. During the Holocaust, just to take a reference, it was 50.
Yep. Don't worry, Ben. We haven't forgotten. We know.
50%. During Rwanda, it was significantly higher than 3%. You don't issue leaflet warnings to people. You don't go house to house.
Hey, I mean, bank robbery is when you get at least 5% of the bank money. We only got 1% of the bank money. Did you try? Oh, yeah, we tried to steal everything. We just couldn't do it. Oh, well, then it doesn't count. You're committing a genocide just because you ain't finishing the job because the rest of the world is watching and turning on your violent asses. Doesn't mean you're not giving it the old college try.
In a genocide in an attempt to reduce civilian casualties.
Let's get to Charlie's next question because Ben's being full of shit again.
To hear this, though, because there is an incessant campaign. And one thing a friend said to me, interestingly, which is, okay, Charlie, we've pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border, on so like maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions.
So this is the question we watched the clip of. Charlie is terrified to ask these questions himself. Remember what Harrison Smith said? He said he has a friend who's inside Turning Point USA who said Charlie is terrified that if he turns on Israel, they will kill him. Notice Charlie is phrasing this question as a friend said to me.
Over the last couple of years. So, Ben, some people would accuse Israel of wanting to ethnically cleanse.
Was there a cut in there? Go back. Maybe this was live, so maybe I'm just being a conspiracy theorist. Is there a cut in here?
That maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years. So, Ben, some people would...
There was a cut right there. Something got cut.
Accuse Israel of wanting to ethnically cleanse. Some people in the Israeli government are saying, again, it's all over the place, right? You have opinions all over. In your
Ben's going nuts. His head's just going... Yeah, I've never seen Ben... Go back to Ben's head ping-ponging all over the fucking place.
Some people in the Israeli government are saying, again, it's all over the place, right? You have opinions all over. In your opinion, what would a good outcome find?
What the fuck was that? It's like he was fighting a demon in his head. I want to see that. I'm sorry if I'm boring you with this.
Accuse Israel of wanting to ethnically cleanse. Some people in the Israeli government are saying, again, it's all over the place, right? You have opinions all over. In your opinion, what would a good outcome 5 years from now be, and how does one respond to the claims of ethnic cleansing?
So ethnic cleansing, the idea presumably that population movement is equivalent to ethnic cleansing. I think ethnic cleansing is a term that's been fairly recently coined to describe population movement during war. And the reality is that's been ongoing for literally all of human history.
The mass expulsion or killing of members of an unwanted ethnic or religious group in a society. Ben, 60,000 Arabs dead in the last nearly 2 years.
The idea that Israel is
tens of thousands more displaced,
unquote, forcing people out of the Gaza Strip. That is not the stated policy of the Israeli government. The idea.
Oh, guys, don't worry. It's not the stated policy. When we dropped the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the stated policy was just to get Japan to surrender. The stated policy was not to slaughter hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians. So it wasn't our stated policy. Fucking guy. The sociopath, like really, he's unfeeling.
Is if people want to leave, they can, but they're not being forced to leave. Again, moving people out of heavily urbanized.
Yeah, come on. All these fucking people who are, moving out of the Gaza Strip so their children don't get murdered. We're not making them do that. They're choosing to. We're not forcing them out. They're choosing to leave while we rain bombs down on their hospitals. Fuck.
Areas that are honeycombed with terrorist booby traps pretty much everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the same thing as quote unquote ethnic cleansing. And I think that ethnic cleansing is very often used as sort of a softer form of the genocide.
Oh, can you use the Holocaust to compare it, please? Because we haven't heard you say the Holocaust in 3 minutes.
Attack, the idea being that Israel is trying to kill everyone, which of course is not true. As far as your
right, that would be fucking ridiculous. It's like the King David Hotel. Why would they ever fucking slaughter a shitload of people?
Earlier question about what we believe from the media. One of the things that I find kind of astonishing in some of the folks on the right who are highly critical of Israel is actually the lack of the lack of skepticism when it comes to legacy media. Legacy media are radically anti-Israel overall. The New York Times can...
Right, like all of our media companies that are owned by all those anti-Israel Christians are really against you guys because they're criticizing you. I think that's enough, Ben, for today. That's enough, Benny Shapiro, I think. 18 with $1 says, but yet now they are saying it's a SGT that shot him. I don't know. In my opinion, we'll know when we know. I think our deep state had something to do with it yet. Papa Shab says they're so fucking alien, man. Barely even human. He's just cold and dead inside. Papa Shab says that head movement was a snake inside him trying to wiggle out of his skin suit. I think so. Get ready. He says something funny as hell. You don't go house to house. Right. If you're trying to eliminate people. Yeah. Come on. The Nazis never went house to house looking for people. What's that? They did. Oh, they, in fact, that's one of the main ways okay. I mean, if you're trying to eliminate a population, you don't go house to house. No, that's actually exactly what you do. You go house to house. In fact, that's what a genocidal maniac would say. We will go house to house looking for these people. So I think house to house is actually the thing that they do. About 300 of you checking out the show right now. Go ahead and hit like, hit share, hit subscribe. We appreciate it. Let's take a look. Oh, I had a text here and I fucking swiped it. It was a good one too. And I missed it. Son of a bitch. Oh boy. Dead Game says, One Head Rex says, you are hiding a tranny. Yeah. They're going door to door. You are hiding a tranny under your floorboards. You are harboring transgender people of enemies of the state under your floorboards, aren't you? And I'm assuming that because they have been quiet this entire time that they do not speak English. One Head Rex. You are hiding Arabs just trying to live in peace in the Gaza Strip under your floorboards. Just kidding. We Jews have eliminated all of the floorboards here. Well, we've got the Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk interview. And I don't think Mossad in 16 hours was like, now we're going to kill him. I don't think that's the case, but fucking hell. You could tell that Charlie was definitely struggling with some things, and Ben 1,000% was not. By Johnny's Loon Jerky, becoming a member for 40 months, says looking at the shot, the fluid shock would have messed up his brain activity through his spine. That blood amount looks like an exit wound. Oh. Jack Brennan with $10 said, oh, we did that one. Oh, we did all three of those. Okay, good. Yes, 105 away from tonight. 96 memberships away from 500. I do not expect you guys to hit that this evening. However, that 105 is our final goal of the week, and it is a perfect week for the toe if we knock it out. So thank you very much. I appreciate all of your contributions to our lovely program. But most importantly, hit thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit follow. And we got a couple of Charlie Kirk clips that went up today. I think we're going to have 2 more tomorrow. I think that Ben Shapiro one will be one. And hopefully you guys feel like checking those out and pumping up the numbers on those. We did have one of our clips hit this week. I think hopefully a couple more do. We always look for 1 or 2 to really hit. I think one of them's hit the 4,000 or 5,000 mark, which I'm very happy with. So thank you guys for all of your help and support. All right, this is Mehdi Hassan interviewing Ilhan Omar about Charlie Kirk. Now, here's my deal. Typically, when it comes to people being assassinated, especially people who have never been violent to anyone, who have only gone to college campuses to talk to other human beings, you know, if you host a show, I think you should bring people on who you know are not going to say shitty things about the deceased. A father of 2 very young children, 2 toddlers, a husband. I don't know if it's a good look when a devoutly Christian father is assassinated. You bring on some woman in a fucking hijab to talk shit about him. I think it's a bad look. I think it's tone deaf. And I think Mehdi Hassan should be ashamed of himself. Here's what I'm talking about.
What I do know for sure is that
you married your brother?
You know, Charlie was someone who once said, guns save lives.
So fuck him. Okay, so I guess Charlie Kirk liked guns and he thought the Second Amendment was important, so the fact that he got shot, is this the destiny fuck around and find out thing? You losers.
After a school shooting. Charlie was someone who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right,
He was a piece of shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Does that language offend you? Would you like me to? Okay, I won't say scumbag. George Floyd was a woman-beating, drug-addicted piece of human garbage. George Floyd was dog shit. We good? Are we clear on that? George Floyd was high as fuck on fentanyl, meth, and weed, resisting arrest, climbing out of the cop car, resisting at every step of the way until Derek Chauvin finally restrained him, and then his heart gave out because he was having a mental fucking breakdown while high on fent. He could have put that knee in the middle of his back. George Floyd probably would have died.
Regard, downplay slavery and what Black people have gone through in this country by saying Juneteenth should never exist.
It's not downplaying slavery. He thinks it's a stupid fucking holiday. Also, I don't like people who got here like 20, 30 years ago talking about slavery like it's something they went through. Stop. That's like taking people like my family who got here in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and going, a bunch of slave owners. Like, what? It had been illegal. It had been banned for 40 years by the time my family got here.
And I think, there are a lot of people who are out there talking.
Like, I'm sorry, Ilhan, slavery isn't a part of your history. It's not. Unless, like in Africa, there were a shitload of Black people enslaving Black people. How do you think they got here? So maybe that affected your family, but American slavery didn't affect you.
About him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, than to completely pretend that his words and actions have not been recorded,
they're happy, they're laughing. These people want you dead. These people they want your blood. To them, words are violence. To them, Charlie Kirk having his own opinions that don't fit with theirs is you deserve to be killed. How dare you, Charlie Kirk, think differently than we do? And how dare you, Charlie Kirk, go to people who think differently than you and have a civil conversation with them? It's recorded. We can see it. I know. I've been watching the clips. He treats these people with respect and he debates them. He debates them hard, but he debates them. Julie Madoff with $5 says, are you triggered because Mehdi is spitting cold hard facts? Actually, you know what? He's right. I withdraw my objection. I'm just jealous. God damn it, Julie Madoff. Every time. I'm just mad that they fucking crushed it. My bad. That's on me. Harry Balls says, I don't buy that the conveniently found rifle was the gun used. Neither do I. A 30-06 would have blown the head off the body. The side shots show no pass-through exit wound. A 5.56 would have shot through. I don't know. We don't know enough to exactly know. I heard somebody say that it looks like it might have bounced off his body armor. It might have bounced off his vest and gone up into his neck. It's all speculation at this point. We did get a video, getting back to who shot Charlie. We did get a video today. TMZ has it. Apparently somebody's doorbell Ring camera did get a video of the supposed shooter walking to the university before the shooting. Let's take a look at this. There he is, right in the left corner there. And he's just walking like a fucking dick. Why is he limping? Maybe he was trans. That's a just cut my balls off limp. It's kind of goofy. He's just kind of big foot, little foot, big foot, little foot, big foot, little foot. Anonymous fake dono with $10 says, making jokes about a person's inclination to save potatoes in their pockets can be hurtful and contribute to lowered self-esteem. Please choose respectful humor that does not rely on making fun of a person's proclivity to save potatoes in their pockets. I don't save mashed potatoes in my pockets. I mean, that doesn't really tell us much, that video. We do have the photos, obviously, of the shooter. We've got those right here. Now, they think this is the gun that was used. I don't know. I'm so skeptical of everything, and I think this is the point of all these psyops and shit. It's supposed to make you not know what the fuck to believe. I do believe that I don't believe that a CIA agent or an FBI agent or a Mossad agent killed Charlie Kirk, but I think whoever did kill Charlie Kirk was working with the deep state, was working with some other organization. I don't know who, but the way they got away, the way they've avoided capture, that's just not some crazy college kid. That's more than just one person can do. But they believe that's the rifle that was used in the Charlie Kirk shooting. Then you have, we talked about it before, the ATF document leaked to Crowder, says firearm used to kill Charlie Kirk was covered with transgender, not Antifa slogans, anti-fascist slogans. It's a little different. It's different. It's a distinction without a difference maybe, but it is a difference. And then here's the photos of the person of interest. There's now a $100,000 reward being offered by the FBI for any information that leads to arrest. So, but the problem is, like, when I've watched enough Law and Order, guys, to know that when you start offering rewards and phone numbers, the phones start ringing off the hook. I know that from SVU taught me that well. Loaded Wrench with $2 says the weird walk is from jumping off the building. No. They said that this was before the shooting. This was him on his way to the university. So that would be a different. That would be the time would be off on that. By the way, thank you to Anonymous Fake Dono for that very stirring endorsement against bullying people who may or may not have mashed potatoes in their pockets. I am not someone who does that, but I just want you to know that your endorsement is appreciated. And thank you. All right, guys, thank you for those contributions. Like I said, we are 95 away from tonight. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, and all that fun stuff, and we'll call it a perfect week for the toe. We mentioned this earlier today. South Park just removed their episode mocking Charlie Kirk and MAGA influencers from cable in respect for Charlie after his assassination. I think that is a class move by the South Park guys, by Matt and Trey. They just wanted to satire the guy. He's a big media figure. They wanted to make fun of him. They did. From all accounts, from what I've heard, it was funny. Charlie Kirk even said it was funny. He had no problem with it. He got mocked by the South Park guys. All's fair. But after his death, they have taken it down. And they didn't have to. Should they? Yeah, probably. It's a good look. But it's a class move to take down the episode. Skeezy Whitefish says, I stand in solidarity with the tater pocket community. Oh, people are saying that the shooter was walking like that because he had mashed potatoes in his pockets. It was a mashed potato walk. That perhaps the shooter had the mashed potatoes on him. It's pocket mash, and that's why he was walking with the limp. Wow, guys, you are onto it. Who would have known that your pocket potato conspiracy would bear fruit? Landers says, yeah, it's real. They killed Kirk. I knew from the second that round hit his neck and the blood shot out. Well, I think a lot of people did. Turtle Steel Shell says, getting mocked by South Park is a badge of honor. If you embrace the joke, you win. I agree. Dead Game says, Turtle Steel Shell, oh, okay, good. I've seen so many trying to say squibs and bullshit all day. People are looking in the wrong spots. Yeah, that squibs and shit. That's a lot. No Pen 15 Fathead, becoming a member for 37 months, says, I'm sure the suspect is staying away from McDonald's. You guys are fucking stupid. Lick 'em my nuts, gifting a member. Thank you for the levity, though. I have had people say, they've been like, thank you for doing the show the way you have. Thanks for keeping me sane through all this, giving us information, feeling your feelings, feeling your emotions, but also adding some levity. And I've told a bunch of people, I've told at least 4 people who have messaged me, I've said, you can give me all the credit you want, but the audience, like when we go back to the chat and we read the GIFs and everything else, they run with all this shit. They're the ones who kind of shake us out of it, if you will. My Lost Interest says, Sniper had potatoes in his pockets. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't put potatoes in my pockets. AA for Quitters with $2 says he was limping because the rifle was in his pant leg. Okay, yes, I know. Now is the part where I have to explain the joke because there might be new people watching for Charlie Kirk. But we don't. Here at Steel Toe, we're a news show that does comedy, or we're a comedy show that does news. I'm not really sure yet. It's only been 10 years. We don't really believe that the shooter had mashed potatoes in his pockets and that's why he was limping. You can ask this audience. They also don't believe that I put mashed potatoes in my pockets, right? It's just a funny bit we're doing. Turtle Steel Shell with $1 said, so he had a Spuddy Buddy pocket ready. Yeah. Yeah, he had a Spuddy Buddy pocket ready. Of course. My Lost Interest getting that membership from Lick 'em my nuts. And that puts us 90 away from tonight. Thank you very much. Spuddy. Oh, great. You know what? I am definitely not going to get Spuddy Buddy out of my head. Here's a text. Can we have a tater tot hot dish competition at the next comedy show for Mr. Fagtato? My name isn't Mr. Fagtato, so I don't know who you're talking about. Harry Ball says the cheeks looked like the mask shifted. Chernobog says, thou doth protest too much, Aaron. I don't put potatoes in my pockets. I don't know how to accurately defend myself from these accusations, but, just, hey, you know what? Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for listening. Okay, continuing on here. Alex Jones, I was looking in the comments of this, and to be honest, Alex Jones, Dan Bilzerian today was saying that Alex is full of shit. A lot of Alex Rosen giving shit to Alex Jones a little, not giving him shit, but disagreeing with him. Alex Jones is he's kind of, I don't know if he's running cover for Israel. I'm not sure. I like Alex, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But a lot of people are accusing Alex of running cover for Israel. I don't know. I think a lot of people just want this to be Israel did it, cut and dry. They murdered Charlie Kirk for turning on him. Charlie hadn't fully turned on him. Charlie was still a pro-Israel guy. I lay this more at the feet of our own deep state that helped this guy kill Charlie Kirk. That's what I think, because of the MAGA connections, how pure he seemed to young, college-aged, conservative America. There was a dynamic shift happening in this country. Young people are more conservative than they've ever been, more Christian than they've been in a long time. So I think that they wanted to nip that in the bud. Just one man's opinion.
Look, folks, I have exposed the USS Liberty that Israel tried to sink to blame on Egypt more than anybody. I've exposed all.
Congratulations on your 50-year-old scoop.
All sorts of false flags Israel's done. But immediately yesterday, people started saying, well, because Charlie Kirk had been talking about Epstein being Mossad, they killed him. It's a professional hit. There's not credibility in every time something bad happens, always saying Israel did it. Israel does plenty of...
Okay, I understand that, and that's a great point that Alex raises. But I agree that 100% of the time, it's not Israel that did it. But let's say we put our money, let's say we put $20 even odds on it being Israel every time. Would we get paid out more often or less often than 50%? Would you walk away with house money or would you be down money? That's all I'm asking. Consider it.
Bad stuff. So do other corrupt governments. Here's the deal. The ATF, just like the FBI leaked the call serve a few weeks ago when the trans shooter went in and killed all those kids in Minneapolis at that Catholic school mass.
Right. That's why we know. That's why I don't think this one's a lone gunman. When the trans shooters go in and shoot people and all that stuff, they put a gun in their mouth. They get shot by the authorities. Like, they don't escape. Vance Boelter didn't escape. They caught him in a culvert hiding like a dog. So the fact that this guy's gotten away and he's evaded capture, and we have this private plane story that's out there, Daily Mail, mainstream news, that doesn't happen without help.
And the person that put out their videos, all the carvings on the bullets and the stuff on the gun, the ATF was worried, along with DHS, was part of it, that was going to get suppressed. So they leaked it to Steven Crowder. People always leak to him because he's a very credible, good guy.
And his wife says no, but...
And it's out. And we saw a trans person.
Steven Crowder's a really good guy as long as you put on your fucking gloves and feed the dog.
That lived there in that town the day before say something big's going to happen today. Charlie Kirk's going to get evaporated. And there was a song put out a month ago about killing Charlie Kirk in that town. And I've covered that yesterday. I'm about to cover it on my show, 11 a.m. today. Harrison Smith's doing a great job right now. American Journal, Infowars.com.
Harrison Smith's also the guy who said that someone close to Charlie Kirk said he's afraid that if he turns on Israel, they'll kill him.
/show. You can also find a real live show. It's on X, the Infowars feed. So, and it's okay to say maybe Israel did it. I mean, my point is that, it's okay to ask that question. But did Israel kill the folks in Minnesota when the guy went and...
No, but that was so clearly a psycho whose dad, but that's because we know the connections. His dad was a subcontractor for the CIA. And all over the magazines and the guns, it was fuck Raytheon. It was 6 million wasn't enough. They had a whole manifesto talking about how they've been brainwashed into being trans and it fucked with their brain and everything else. Like, we had enough information. The problem is, Alex, we don't know anything about this.
Kill the lawmakers? No, he said he was working for Tim Walz. I mean, he did. That was on No King's Day, obviously a false flag. And he said that's what it was. He was hired to do that in his manifesto. Did Israel shoot up in Nashville the female to male trans? No. The last 8 shootings have now...
Shouldn't that tell you, though, that when people think it might be Israel, that they're not just blaming Israel for everything and they might have a point if they're picking out this one? Alex is like, did the trans shooter here, was that Israel? It's like, no, none of us thought it was. Trans shooter here, was that Israel? No, none of us thought it was.
Men trans killing Christians, who they're targeting. As Trump said a few days ago, the targeting of Christians is just out of control. So, again, I mean, I guess now every time a trans person kills somebody, it's Israel did it with no proof.
That's a cop-out. Stop. We can have a conversation. We can talk about it. Like I said today, I don't necessarily think Israel did it. I think an intelligence service was at play and helped and assisted, but I don't necessarily think it was Israel. But don't do the cop-out where you're like, I guess every time a trans person shoots people, it's Israel. Don't do that. That's what toxic girlfriends do in an argument. Stop that.
So I'm not saying people can't gas that and go there, and as information emerges, but here's the final thing.
You're just saying you'll be pouty if they do.
And I'll cover them on the show. Everybody's saying, the professional shot, so professional, nobody can make this shot, only a Green Beret or Navy SEAL.
It's not true.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Everyone in my chat, everyone in my orbit and audience has been saying it. They've been saying that's not a hard shot to make. The news was saying that you could train for, 12 hours, and you could make that shot. So nobody's saying that it's a Green Beret or anything. A-Train sent me a link to a story. Monster-sized spud was in Big Lake, Minnesota last week for Spud Fest. And he says, yet you have been driving your truck around with your giant spud everywhere. I don't own a giant potato.
When I was 14 with a .308, I could shoot bullseye all day long at 400 yards. At 200 yards, I could make the hole get bigger. And I mean, people see me shoot like that today. I sit there with a handgun at 100 yards.
Well, look at the big dick on Alex Jones, motherfucker.
And shoot a 4-inch steel target, all 16, 17 rounds.
I'm a fucking man with a giant
I'm
cock.
not military trained.
Right, you're Mossad trained. No.
I mean, my young daughters can shoot bullseye at 200 yards. So
because we got to be ready to fight the deep state. So people are not happy with Alex because they, his fans are, thinking that he's kind of covering for Israel or carrying water for Israel. But, this is kind of what happens when, you build the kind of audience that Alex has built. Unfortunately, they're going to expect you to come out with the big conspiracy theory every time. So this is kind of the bed that Alex has made. And again, I'm going to say, I don't think Alex should be catching so much shit for saying, I don't think it's Israel. He can catch shit for the cop-outs the passive-aggressive cop-outs he was pulling. But really, I'm leaning more towards deep state. That can change. But right now, I'm leaning more towards deep state. Turtle Steel Shell with $1 says, okay, but the real question is, if Alex Jones and Stone Cold Steve Austin headbutt, who wins? We will ignore Austin's broken neck and any equivalent Jones has. Yeah, that's the rattlesnake's back and neck is not in any kind of shape to get in a headbutting fight. Goddamn, son, I got Alex Jones over here wants to have a headbutting contest. I got a broken neck from that piece of trash, Owen Hart. If y'all want to see me headbutt Alex Jones, give me a hell yeah. They want to have Steve Austin and I. They want Steve and I to fight each other. They want us to have a headbutting contest. I had a headbutting contest when I was 12 years old down in Austin, Texas. And I used to headbutt wild rams. I used to headbutt goats. And I could headbutt a goat. Honestly, I could probably headbutt a goat 60%. And I could probably knock him unconscious. I've knocked the horns off a goat once in a headbutting contest when I was 13 years old when I was in San Antonio. So, I mean, I respect Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think Stone Cold Steve Austin is a great American. I think he's a great man. But I'm going to tell you right now, if we get in a headbutting contest, I will destroy him. I will probably vaporize his forehead. I would say that because when I was 16 years old and I was in El Paso, I remember one time I headbutted a nun and she turned to dust. It was jarring. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And one of the wildest things I've done by my own hand or head. So, I mean, if Stone Cold wants it, like Stone Cold can get it. But I'm warning him that I've been headbutting people to death, really, since I was a teenager. Historically White says there's a tranny murder cult running around. What? Better stop them. They have a name. You saw one 2 weeks ago. Several have been arrested over the past few months. Oh, you're right. It's they have a name for it. Zyzan or something like that. No, Zyzol is my allergy medication, but it is like the Zyzans or the Zuzans or something like that. I can't quite recall. Zizians. Thank you, Wanhead Rex. The Zizians. And they have like a wacky like marketing name for themselves also. Yeah, I forgot about them, right? $90 away from tonight's goal. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Let's finish it off. Let's call it a final win for the toe and call it officially a perfect week. We settled last night. Thank you very much to Ethan for settling last night's business for us and getting us ahead for today. Now we just got to push past that last 90 and call it a W, and then we get ready, and then we got Rumble Link Friday for tomorrow. The FBI is offering $100,000 for any information into the Charlie Kirk assassination that leads to the arrest. That is a big, big bounty. $100,000 if you can give them information that, and this is kind of designed to take anybody who might know any information, who might know the person and feel like harboring them or helping them, and kind of pricing it to the point where they're like, yeah, fuck him, I need $100,000. I think that money could go a long way. Reports are that there were Antifa and transgender messages on the firearm used in the assassination. And yeah, again, that's either a false flag to hide why they really did it, or this person wanted to kill Charlie Kirk and the CIA and FBI got involved because they had the same interests, if you will. And again, there's the photos that they have of the shooter of Charlie Kirk. That's who they believe did it. If you know anything about the shooter, call 1-800-CALL-FBI or fbi.gov// Utah Valley shooting. That's, and again, $100,000 for the person who gives the information. That leads to the arrest. Fauci's Pangolin says it's the man from Minnesota that's missing, went to Texas. I don't know what that means. Papa Shab says that guy didn't shoot shit. Well, they've arrested 2 guys already. They've detained 2 people already, and they've cut them both loose. So they don't have a very good track record. Again, I've been asking, when's the last time someone got away with something like this for this long? Wasn't the Boston Marathon bomber caught the night of? When was the Boston Marathon bombing? April 15th. When was the Boston Marathon arrest? April 19. Okay, so 4 days. All right. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev made it 4 days after the Boston Marathon bombing. But that's the last one that I remember that got away. Somebody said that Kash Patel's going to pay them in gift cards. And as he pays them, he's going to hold on to the check and go, I just want you to know your car warranty is about to expire. Fuck, they got me. Onawal says he needs to get his eyes done. I wonder if the fat pads mess up his peripheral vision. Huh? 09 Canyon says, and then jump off the roof and run fast enough to not be seen or caught. Yeah, that seems doable. It is. There's a lot of weird shit about that shooting. Like, you have help with shit like that. You had to have had help. Donald Trump, it sounds like he's going to posthumously award Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the biggest honor you can give a civilian. This is Donald today talking about it.
Before we begin, let me express the horror and grief so many Americans at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk have felt. Charlie was a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions and millions of people.
He's getting old, man. He's fucking bleeding from the... What the fuck is that? Is that just a skin fold? Oh, he's just an old guy. That's a wrinkle and a skin fold. It looks like he's bleeding from his ear. Sorry, it's from the assassination. He just sounds and looks old now. It's like Muhammad Ali in 1964 versus Ali fighting Larry Holmes. He just looks old, puffy.
Our prayers are with his wonderful wife, Eric, and his beautiful children. Fantastic people they are. We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd. Very, very big.
So Charlie's getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom, partially for the work he's done on campuses and the way he's helped Trump and he's helped the whole MAGA movement and that whole thing. But also, I mean, let's not be, let's be serious. A lot of it's because of the horrific way he was killed. Mick Buster says that was Epstein news coming out of his ear. Oh, Chernobog says the clone body is about to expire. That's what it was. Historically White says his kids are going to see that video someday. I know, that bums me out. That's always the realest, rawest, and roughest part to think about with this Charlie Kirk deal. Is that, the fact that he's a father of two children. I mean, forget who killed him, forget, the socio-political complications, forget how people are going to respond or anything like that. I'm glad we got a weekend to cool down. Hopefully they catch the guy. Hopefully we get some answers, and hopefully those answers are as close to the truth as possible. But the part I have a hard time shaking is that he's a father, a husband, and those kids are so goddamn young, and that they're going to see that video someday. That sucks. Text messages coming in. Give him a state funeral in D.C. He is a martyr. I mean, it's if he's not, he's close to one. He fits the definition. Rusty Grammer says, this sucks ass because now I have to leave my day job to go play security for this fucking event. People are going to be on high alert. Plus, it's 9/11. Riding Dirty Llama says Kirk already has the Hugest Medal of Freedom, instant presence with Christ Jesus. Yeah, martyrs go right smack dab straight to heaven. Billy Bob Norris says there was only one shooter, but there was more than one person involved in this. There was definitely a getaway driver. I agree wholeheartedly. Something's up. Even that first guy they detained, that David Zinn or whatever his name was, I'm worried that guy, might have had something to do. Like he was supposed to be a distraction to allow the guy to get away. I just don't believe that you get away from something like this and it's just a one-person show, and he plotted the whole thing out with no military training or anything. Copper Camel Toe says that's what military snipers have the hardest time with. They watch these people with their families and kids, then have to kill them. This person has no soul. Wasn't it the Chris Kyle movie, Sniper? Bradley Cooper, where was that the one where the woman was with her child and she picked up a gun and she was going to fire it? Oh, no, I think that was Black Hawk Down, where the soldier's like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And then he had to shoot her. Trampling at the Zoo says David Zinn was comparable to a moving company. My friend David Zinn at the rally. I don't know. I have no idea. Speaking of, I just did a Alexander Usyk reference there. You got that Canelo versus Crawford fight this weekend. I am wildly excited for that. I'm so pumped for the Crawford-Canelo fight. I'm going to watch that Saturday night. I'm a Crawford guy. I'm pulling for Crawford. I'm pretty sure Canelo is favored right now, and he should be. He's the bigger fighter, but if Crawford pulls this one off, I mean, this is the Mayweather-Pacquiao of its era. This is the two best pound-for-pound fighters of this generation meeting each other. This so rarely happens. The last time it happened was 10 years ago. And now we're getting it again. And while both of these guys aren't necessarily in their prime, they're both in their mid-30s, I think. They're both fighting very, very well. This is as close to their primes as you can get. I'm more of a Bud Crawford guy. I've met Bud Crawford. He's so nice. He's a quiet, reserved, really nice dude. I like Bud Crawford. He's probably he and Usyk are probably my two favorite fighters out there right now. I'm rooting for Crawford. I want everybody to be healthy. I want everybody to be safe because I love Canelo. I think Canelo's one of the best ever. But Crawford's my guy. I'm rolling with Crawford. I'm going to pick Crawford. His ring IQ is so high. He's so sharp. He adjusts to the people he's fighting. I don't know what Canelo's record with Southpaws is. I think he's undefeated against them, but Crawford can switch to orthodox too. Crawford, Canelo odds. What are we at right now? Current betting odds, Canelo is the favorite with odds listed around minus 160 to minus 180. Crawford is the underdog at plus 130 to plus 145. Still pretty close, though. Canelo, those betting lines could even up because that makes me want to put money on Crawford at plus 145. So I think those will probably narrow to as close to even as possible. But that fight's going to be on Saturday night, and it's on Netflix. I think these streaming services buying up fights like UFC and boxing is so good for the consumer and so good for both of the sports. The less people have to spend watching these fucking things, the better. I mean, UFC, I stopped buying UFC years ago because they got up to like $80-$90 for a pay-per-view. No fucking thank you. It's not worth it when your main event doesn't get on till 11 o'clock and I'm old as shit and I might be asleep. And then boxing, it was, I mean, after Mayweather-Pacquiao, they were all $90 to $100. Can't do it. Can't do it. Taste Fairy Ialto says it'll probably end up in a dusty finish. I don't think they have those in boxing. I hope it ends like Balboa Creed 2. You know, they both punch each other and they both fall down. One guy has to beat him up. Turtle Steel Shell says, I like the fighters in Fight Night round 2 and 3. Arturo getting stabbed to death was insane. Yeah, poor Arturo Gotti. I still think his wife had something to do with that. Fight Night Champion was my favorite Fight Night. I wish they'd bring Fight Night back, quite frankly. Somebody just had a really good question, and I cannot find it anymore. Oh, shit. Scrolling up in the chat. Son of a... I caught it on my way down, and then I missed it. Oh, well. Hey, guys, $90 away from our final goal of the week. Thank you so much for your support. I love that we haven't even had to talk about it at all today. Thank you very much to Timothy for $5. He says, Spuddy Buddy, WPH gravy trains. There you go. There's WPH for you. Oh, there we go. There's your WPH light. My name is not Spuddy Buddy, though. We gotta try and train you guys out of Spuddy Buddy. $85 away from tonight's goal and 95 gifted memberships away from 500. Thank you. All right, I think we're. Is that all of it? I think we got all of our Charlie Kirk stuff done. I'm really sorry, guys. I hope that the show's going well. I hope you're enjoying it. I don't feel well. I'm pretty sick today. But I feel like today's show is going like kind of slow. And I feel like I not because of the material. I don't know if I'm not getting tired of the Charlie Kirk stuff, but it's a bummer. It's emotionally taxing. I think I've talked to numerous people in my life who have said, I mean, some of them have said like, I didn't even really know who Charlie Kirk was, but this thing bums me the fuck out. And then it's 9/11, and we just had the Annunciation shooting and all that stuff. And it's just a lot of hits to take, like back to back to back to back to back. But the weekend can't get here soon enough. Vikings, Falcons. Like, people shit on sports. They're like, sports are just a distraction. God, how fucking bad do we need football right now? We know, you can't talk shit about people like me or you and say, yeah, you just want a distraction. We've focused on this for 2 full days now. A full day and a half, because it happened in the afternoon. But we focused on this for a day and a half. I don't think you can accuse us of just watching distractions and ignoring what's going on, because we've definitely covered top to bottom this whole deal. I think we've turned it every which way but loose. Charlie Kirk is being transported with a motorcade and escort to Phoenix, Arizona. He and his family deserve every bit of this treatment. Wow. This is going on right now? Charlie Kirk's body is in transit?
Emotional day for so many Charlie Kirk supporters and fans from all over the country. And again, very difficult time for Erica, the wife of Charlie, and the 2 children that he has as well. And now Sky Fox again showcasing just the very raw images right now of Charlie Kirk returning home. Very difficult time for the family, as no doubt this motorcade continues through the streets right now of Arizona, but very, very emotional couple of days ahead, and a life now without Charlie Kirk for the family. Very, very difficult void to carry through. In just moments, we will begin.
Here's a chance for a little PSA for you guys, especially if you're married, but definitely if you have kids. Get yourself some life insurance. I think this should be a good wake-up call to a lot of people. Make sure your family is good. Make sure they're okay. I think I have probably shouldn't say this. I got people all over who hate my guts and want me dead. I have $1 million policy, and it's only like $30 or $40 a month. It's not bad at all. And then with that money, your family can bury you. They can rebuild their life. They don't have to worry about finances. Get yourself some life insurance, please.
An update from Fox 10 Phoenix on Turning Point.
If you live single, fuck it. Make your parents pay for your shit. I don't care. Make them pay for your funeral. But if you're married, something that your wife can rebuild on, and then, or just to bury you and get you by $100,000, something like that. But if you've got kids, $500,000, $1 million, it's not that expensive.
USA, some more supporters, of course, coming out today, out in Phoenix, to share their thoughts on Charlie, the impact that he had on their lives and on their political views as well. And now we are seeing the hearse continue through the streets right now of Phoenix, making its way ultimately, presumably, towards a wake area.
Yeah. Shuli made off with $2. He's right here. He says, it's hilarious you were a fan of Patel and Bongino. You are correct, dude. By the way, I know we've heard from Kash Patel on this whole thing, obviously, because he's the FBI director. Is it just me, or is Dan Bongino, since that initial blow up over the Epstein stuff, has he been fucking totally quiet? He has been silent. We have heard nothing from Dan Bongino. 09 Canyon says, what's wrong with a distraction? Only so much real life you can take without any release. Skeezy Whitefish says the distraction keeps people from acting accordingly. Well, you know what? That's a fair point. Maybe there is a certain amount of vengeance that should be taken for what happened to Charlie Kirk, but we don't know who. We don't know who yet. I have a feeling whoever they're going to pin it on, they're going to use it to turn us against each other and take our country down from the inside with civil strife, when in reality it's probably the powers that be or somebody else doing it. They're going to get us all fighting with trans people and shit and, tearing this country apart, because you can't bomb it, you can't nuke it, you can't conquer America. We're too big, we're too strong. You can't take down our economy from the outside. It has to be done from the inside. And you get all these conservatives whipped up and riled up, and you shoot and kill their leaders, and you're shooting at their president and stuff like that. And then you blame it on the lefties, and you blame it on the trans, and you blame it on all this. And then they can all fight each other. They'll never be countrymen ever again. They'll tear each other apart with civil strife. And you guys will take the billionaires and the political class will pick up the ashes. They'll be kings of the ashes. Hate it. I fucking hate it, man. 09 Canyon says, I cashed out my life insurance. I had bills to pay. Ain't my problem after I'm dead. Can I cash out my life insurance? What? Is that a thing? I thought, like, I have my life insurance through State Farm. Like, it's bundled with everything. I'm the biggest retard in the world. Can I get money out of my life insurance? I mean, I never would. It's for my kids in case anything were to happen to me. But this is where I'm a retard. Is that a thing? Is that every life insurance policy you can get money out of it? What the fuck? Papa Shab says, Aaron, don't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. I just feel like I'm the biggest asshole retard in the world that didn't know I could do that. I never would. That money is for only my children. Technically, it's for my parents. My parents are the benefactor in my life insurance. My life insurance policy has had 3 benefactors now. My parents are going to hold it until my kids are 18. If I get fucking whacked because some, jealous streamer sent a schizophrenic after me and they blew my fucking head off. 09 Canyon, they started with that one. Halada Fachina says, is your policy more because you smoke the pole? That's a rumor. I don't keep mashed potatoes in my pants and I don't suck on male genitalia. Thank you very much. Sean Lenane says, everyone knew someone was going to be busted on 9/10. Mad Move says, 4-4, Ron. I'm not calling that Aaron. I was thinking about it today. Would the bullet have had the same effect if the target had, say, a huge double chin asking for a friend? Chips and dip, what did you fucking give me here? If you're just joining the show, this was a gift from Chips and Diff. During the WPH, he wants me to keep it right there on the ledge. Looks good, right? A little sticky, though. I think I'm going to take, I got a little Phillips head screwdriver. I'm going to take these out. I'm going to fix that bad boy, because look. Oh, there. Now it wants to work. Oh, he talks English now. Let's talk turkey, motherfucker. All right. I had a whole life policy. They don't usually do those now. Now it's usually just term. Yeah. I thought I had that. Switchblade Proper says just some of the money that you've actually paid in. Oh, okay. Money that I paid in. I've had that for about 10 years. So not a lot. Mad Move says, don't use your used dildo batteries in lights and it will work better. Actually, Chips and Diff sent me the batteries. If you must know. $85 away from tonight's goal. Will we hit it and will we be perfect? I hope so. It's been a, good week of shows. It was a fun week of shows. Then it was a very tragic last couple of shows. But they have been very good and it has been... It has helped, I think. It's kind of helped take the sting out of this whole deal. We got more breaking photos of the shooter. I don't really know if this really helps at all. I think that's Ellen Page. Yeah, doesn't help. Those are the photos they have now of the Charlie Kirk shooter. Is that? That's the latest that we have on old Charlie and what happened to him. $100,000 from the FBI. Oh, what's going on with, I was wondering why we went down from like 300 down to like 200 people. That's right. It's Thursday night football. That is one of the things we're going to have to contend with. It's Packers and Commanders, isn't it? 7-0 Green Bay. Fuck, Green Bay's going to be good this year. Damn it. Thought we were going to have to contend with the Lions. They look like shit because Dan Campbell's a horrible fucking coach without his two coordinators. So there's that. But Green Bay's going to be fucking good this year, man. They got Micah Parsons. They're up 7-0 on the Commanders. They've got the ball back. This fucking sucks. We have the Falcons who ate it against the Bucs last week, and we've got them on Sunday Night Football. I think we're going to pull that one off. I think we got that one. Mad Move says, love the flag shirt. They did a good job on the costume for this op. Oh. Trying to throw the scent off the trans trail, I assume. Okay, kids, $85 away with about 35 minutes left to go. Let's hammer it out, and we will call it a perfect week for the toe. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. The city of New Orleans has their first ever trans mayor. Their first ever trans mayor. Or, I'm sorry, not Jesus. I'm getting too politicized. Their first ever black female mayor. Fuck. I am slipping over here. So they have their first ever black female mayor. We're going to check out in just 1 second how that's going. You know, whenever you're the first minority to do anything, you got to be like the best at it. You know, you got to be on your game at all times. You got to be sharp, you know, because they're going to be coming after you. You know, Barack Obama, as the first black president, he had to be the perfect black president, you know, because you're going to be the one that they judge everyone by. So let's check that out. And let's see what the first black female mayor of New Orleans did. But before we do, since we're talking about football, hey, football fanatics, are you ready for some primetime NFL action? Tune in to Westwood One for all the gridiron glory you crave. From jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-changing plays, don't miss a moment of the excitement. Catch every snap, every tackle, and every victory on Westwood One. You can listen to the NFL on the NFL app, on the Westwood One Sports app, on WestwoodOneSports.com via Westwood One station streams, or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. If it's the NFL, it's on Westwood One. So check out your games, boys and girls. All right, let's do this. New Orleans' first black female. I said trans. I said it was the first trans mayor of New Orleans. What the fuck do I have on the brain? New Orleans mayor, first black female mayor. How's she doing?
It's you live now from Fox, everyone. I'm your host, Mike Pace. Thanks again for joining us. We come back with some more breaking news that we are following for you about the mayor of New Orleans. We are learning that the New Orleans mayor, LaToya Cantrell, indicted by federal grand jury following a lengthy corruption investigation. So,
that's no good. First black female mayor of New Orleans, and she's going to jail on corruption charges. Gah! Whenever you're the first of anything like that, you can't fuck up. It's gotta be big though. Like, it's gotta be really difficult when you have that much power and someone goes, we're gonna put so much fucking money in your pocket, it's unreal, that you do their bidding. Because if you're the mayor of New Orleans, you're not getting rich being the mayor of New Orleans, but boy, you can get rich being a corrupt mayor of New Orleans. That's for damn sure.
Here is what we know of this. Mayor LaToya Cantrell of New Orleans was charged today with going to criminal lengths to carry out a cover-up of a romantic relationship with a city police officer who had been assigned to protect her.
So she was fucking the cop that was her bodyguard. And she was covering it up. Why can't you just fuck the cop? Can a mayor not fuck the cops and just have a relationship straight up?
Prosecutors allege The indictment emerged after a lengthy federal investigation into corruption that has cast a shadow over Ms. Cantrell's final term as mayor, which ends in January. She and her former bodyguard, Jeffrey Vapey, faced a combined 18 felony counts, including making false statements to a grand jury, obstruction of justice, wire fraud, and conspiracy.
You like some
the
big.
The indictment reflects the prosecution of 2 public officials alleged to have engaged in a years-long continuing fraud scheme that used public money for personal ends by exploiting their power and their authority.
So they were doing a, what's her name? Oh, God, the mayor of that Illinois suburb, that Chicago suburb. Oh, what was her name? Tiffany Henyard. They did a Tiffany Henyard. They just basically took everybody's money and just used it to go on trips and shit. And they did it for years. God, it's such soulless thievery. Like, you're not funneling the money through anything. You don't have like back channels or anything else. You're just taking it right out of the tax coffers. Fuck you, I'm the mayor, I'm in charge. Fuck you, they work for the police department, and we're just going to go places and spend it. That's what Tiffany Henyard did. She just spent it, made it benefit herself. Fucking arrest me then.
That is coming from the acting U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Louisiana. They perpetuated that fraud scheme, he added, by taking steps to keep individuals silent, to deceive subordinates, and to obstruct investigations into their relationship, including one conducted by a federal grand jury. Ms. Cantrell's lawyer confirmed the indictment but did not immediately comment on its contents. Mr. Vapey's lawyer did not immediately respond to a message seeking a comment.
That usually means, yeah, we're fucked. We're trying to figure something out. You know, I don't know how solid their relationship is, but you do know the first rat gets the cheese, right? So, like, they're going to be working really hard to see if they can get these two to turn on each other. Hey, you know, we can go easy on you. Just tell us it was he was the one who was pressuring you to do it. Hey, you know, we can go really easy on you. You know, we could just tell us that the mayor was the one that was pressing you on it. I mean, she's in there spilling her guts right now, unless you got something better. I mean, it's dirty. It's dirty, but they could. Gray Duckling with $10 says, love the new light. Oh, thank you. You like the WPH light, do you? Thank you, Chips and fucking Diff. Come on. Why won't my side there? Nope. Fucker. Got it. Chips and Diff, what did you send me? There we go. There's my siren. Thank you very much. Somebody sent a text in. They said, I heard your new nickname is Spuds McHashbrowns. That's not true. That's a dirty, disgusting lie. How dare you? $75 away from tonight's goal. Thank you very much, Gray Duckling. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants to knock out that last $75. We got a half hour to do it, and it would give us a perfect week for the toe, which, you know, I love those perfect weeks. Riding Dirty Llama says, damn it, stop abusing everything you receive. It won't go if I don't. There we go. See? It's learning. It's becoming conscious. That hurts my fucking eyes so bad. Oh, now I've got a green dot in my eyeballs. Wonderful. This was something someone sent us. We got about a half hour left. We're through all of our Charlie Kirk stuff. And, you know, honestly, for prep, I mean, all of the news, it's Charlie. So when it comes to show prep, I gathered all the Charlie Kirk stuff I wanted. We're through all of that. So if you want to send anything in, go ahead. This was something someone sent us from today. Man takes down and disarms a wild astronaut who pulled out a gun after he tracked her down following a hit and run. This was an Atlanta hit and run. The guy's from Alabama, and apparently an astronaut hit him and then took off. Now, you're supposed to get the license plate number and call police. You're not supposed to run the people down yourselves, but here's the exchange.
I don't don't play. I don't play with a motherfucking man.
She said, I don't play with no motherfucking man. That's the thing I always say to you guys when you accuse me of being a homosexual.
A man is not gonna play with me. You gonna play with me, bitch. 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 Now.
So she's an astronaut. That's interesting. I think I know what kind of astronaut she is. She's the one they send up in the space shuttle first when they're testing it. Anybody want, guys, if there's anyone next to you who doesn't get the joke, go ahead and explain it to them. I don't think the terms of service will allow me to explain that joke. Sorry.
Now, because one thing about it, I don't play with no mother. Don't catch me.
Holy shit. Fuck. That guy was not fucking. So she was waving that gun around and he went for it, huh?
Now, because one thing about it, I don't play with no mother. Don't catch me.
Fuck. She is out though, dude. That was fair. You know, you wave a gun in somebody's face, male or female, it doesn't matter. You got to take them down hard.
Now, because one thing about it,
see where, so she's got the gun down at her side. There's a brandishing charge. And then fuck. You know, that's just kind of when you're standing nose to nose with someone and a gun comes right to your face, your immediate instinct is to make that gun get the fuck away from your face in any way possible.
Mother, don't catch me.
Sounded like he hit her. Holy shit. Do we have any kind of news story on that? Like any kind of details? The woman allegedly pulled over, brandished a pistol, and pointed it at him and his son. A shot was fired during the confrontation. Where did they say this was? Atlanta astronaut hit run. 48 fast. Apollo 13 astronaut passes away. I don't think that's what we were looking for. Share snapshot. No, all we have is that tweet. That's all we've got. Okay. So that one hasn't hit the news. Judging by the whole, I don't give a fuck, I don't care, y'all, I ain't play with no man. Something tells me that the news, after that Charlotte, North Carolina thing, the news might not be too eager to pick that particular story up. Just a guess. Plankton with $10. Thank you very much, buddy. We'll check out that link right now. $65 away from today's goal. Holy fucking shit. Never mind. We are done. Sanford's son gifting 20 memberships. Oh my God. Give that man an Elon. Where'd it go? Where's the Elon? Where is it? Where's my goddamn Elon drop? I got too many of these.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Wow, that is a big one. We are now 75 gifted memberships away from 500, which would be a new record for the toe. And ladies and gentlemen, that officially makes it a perfect week for the toe.
But I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Sanford's son. Oh my God. I believe that puts him at 130 for the week. I got it right here. Okay, we got Sanford at, he's on page 2. We got Sanford 135 is what I would have him at on that one. Am I right or wrong, Sanford's son? Let me know if I've got that right or wrong. Sanford's son at 135. No. Oh, that was Main Vein who gave us 50, so we're good there. We got Walter now in fourth at 105, and Ethan is in the cuck chair at 100. Lab Glass falling out of the cuck chair at 85. That's too bad, too, because Lab Glass has been in the top 5 literally since Monday. So that was a hell of a run he had, but Sanford's son knocking Lab Glass out of the top 5. Thank you guys so much. A perfect week for the toe. Oh my goodness. Sanford's son, if you're okay with that total, then don't worry about it. But if you've got a different number than I do, please let me know. I don't want to short you. Yeah, he's moving on up, moving. You know what? I think every time Sanford's son donates, we got to give him the music. Hold on a second. Where is my? Here we go. Can you get me a video for a drop? I want to give Sanford's son his own drop. Can it be like the first 20 seconds of the Sanford and Son theme? That would be great. I would appreciate it. Thank you, Sanford's son. Wow, that was crazy. Thanks, buddy. I think, and definitely he gets a. There we go. Definitely he gets it. God. He gets a green siren. That's for sure. Veldrain, Copper Camel Toe, Ryan the Garbage Man, all getting memberships. Thank you. Riding Dirty Llama says every time Sanford and Son donates, an Esther on Esther drops. It's look, you guys are getting creative. That's for sure. We had this clip come in that someone wanted us to play. By the way, over 200 of you checking out the toe right now. Peaked up over 300 today. Thank you guys very much for that. Hit like, hit subscribe on your way out. We've got about 20 minutes left. People wanted us to check out this Nick Freitas post. He's a state, what is he, a state representative? Not sure who Nick Freitas is. Is he a Utah guy, perhaps? Well, anyway, Nick Freitas says, I am told that as a state representative, this is the moment where I'm supposed to express my heartfelt condolences and then stand in solidarity with those on the other side of the aisle as we condemn political violence and stand unified as one people. But we aren't one people, are we? The truth is we haven't been for some time now, and there is really no point in pretending anymore if there ever was. We are two very different peoples. We may occupy the same piece of geography, but that is where the similarities seem to abruptly end. I convinced myself for a long time that whenever the left called me a racist, a bigot, a sexist, a fascist, a threat to democracy, for even the most innocent of disagreements, that it was simply hyperbolic rhetoric done for effect. And now the effect is a widow and 2 orphaned children because the left couldn't bear the thought of a peaceful man debating them and winning. I don't think they realize it yet, but murdering Charlie Kirk is going to be remembered as the day when we finally woke up to what this fight really is. I just worry that that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get us to fight maybe with, this might be a misdirect, you guys. It might be a misdirect where they're trying to make you look at the left while they're doing their own fucking deep state shit or Israel shit. I really worry about that. I understand the anger. I understand it feels good. I understand the rage feels good, but I want to make sure that we're keeping our eye on the right enemy. It's not a civil dispute among fellow countrymen. It's a war between diametrically opposed worldviews, which cannot peacefully coexist with one another. One side will win and one side will lose. Charlie tried to win that fight through argumentation, through discussion, through peaceful resolution of differences, and the other side murdered him. Not because he was extreme or inciting violence or any other hyperbolic slur they hurled at him. They murdered him because he was effective. Shouldn't we know why they murdered him first? Shouldn't we arrest this person and find out? Because I don't want to take my eye off the ball of who it might really be. Whatever patsy they tote out in front of us to go, look, isn't this guy a piece of shit? Hey, there's trans shit written on the gun. That seems a little too on the nose. Like they know that's what we'd bite on. I worry that they're going to catch the shooter and they're going to go, good enough, got him. Like, no. Who helped him? Who aided and abetted? Who funded? Who helped him get away? This wasn't a one-person job. Not because he was extreme or inciting violence, blah, blah, blah. I don't stand in solidarity. Or I'm sorry, because he was unafraid, because he inspired others and made them feel like they had a voice and they were not alone. And he did it at the very institutions which has fomented so much hatred toward conservatives. That's why I think the deep state, the FBI and the CIA helped organize this with whoever did it. Because he was changing the game. He was changing the demographics of American politics. Young people were voting Republican, not just Republican, they were voting for nationalist interests for Donald Trump. They were voting America first. It would have killed a globalist worldview that our deep state clings to. So before we start going, these lefties, the trans, the this, the that, dude, your enemy might be a lot bigger and a lot stronger than that. It might be a lot deeper. And I worry that if you just go, it's the trans, it's the lefties. I worry if you do that, you're going to miss who the real enemy is. I don't want to stand in solidarity with the other side of the aisle. I want to defeat you. I want to defeat the godless ideology that kills babies in the womb, sterilizes confused children, turns our cities into cesspools of degeneracy and lawlessness, and that murdered Charlie Kirk. I agree with everything you said up until and that murdered Charlie Kirk. I want to make sure that's what happened first. I mean, couldn't we be at war with that ideology before Charlie Kirk gets murdered? Why does somebody's dad have to get his throat shot out before we go, oh, look, this is evil? And also it makes me think that this is all performative and we're going to run out and we're going to forget and we're just going to go back to the way things were because we're all too comfortable to sacrifice anything. And by the way, I've done that a million times. Social media is aflame right now with leftist celebration of Charlie's death. I mean, in some corners, it's out there in places, but you can also look at places where it's not happening. I wonder if any among them understand what has just happened. If there is a Yamamoto somewhere in their midst warning that all they have done is awoken a sleeping giant. You know, that's something like when you push the right wing, they let you push them. They let you hit them. They let you slap them because I think the right wing knows that when they do lash out, a lot of fucking people die. I doubt it. I think they gave up such introspection and self-awareness long ago. I don't know exactly what will happen next. I just know that it won't be the same as what has happened in the past. There will be thoughts and prayers. Charlie would have wanted prayers, not for himself, but for those left behind and for the country that he loved. But there will be a reckoning. My Christian faith requires me to love my enemies and pray for those who curse me. It does not require me to stand idly by in the midst of savagery and barbarism. Quite the opposite. So every time I feel tired, every time I feel discouraged or overwhelmed, I'm going to watch the video of a good man being murdered in Utah. I will force myself to watch it, and then I will return to the work of destroying the evil ideology responsible for that and so much more. Rest with God, Charlie. Your fight is over. Ours is just beginning, and that is Nick Freitas, who is a representative in Virginia. That was his take.
The next thing I want to talk about.
Oh, this is him?
Is what do we do from here? Because there's a lot of people asking me. And I understand the desire for retribution and revenge. Please believe me, I do. But there's another thing I've learned, and that is their actions are all about focusing and controlling our reactions. They want us to behave in a certain way so that they can use it as evidence that we are the savages they claim that we are, at the same time that they engage in acts of savagery. Charlie was on to something. Charlie was on to something when he emphasized faith, when he emphasized founding principles.
I will say that's one thing I'm kind of taking from this Charlie Kirk thing. I've been kind of on a road to Jesus and all that in the last couple of years. And I think a lot of it, as I look at this Charlie Kirk thing, is because we've tried godlessness, we've tried secularism, and I feel like we haven't gotten a better result for it. I used to laugh at the Christian conservatives when I was a kid who would go, "Well, since they took God out of schools, it all went to shit." But they're not wrong, because when you put Christ in schools, I don't think you end up with trans kids being confused, because I feel like they're looking for a God. They're looking for something to worship. And this altar that they've been praying at, no salvation lies in it. You know? The liberal secular way says obey. You know, Jesus Christ says choose. And one thing I've been kind of leaning on with this Charlie Kirk thing is that I think if America would follow the example of Jesus Christ versus any kind of snarky, hip, atheist, secular movement, I think we'd get a better result. I think it would give people a clearer direction, a clearer purpose, and a clearer path. And I'm not sure that's what the powers that be want, is people having a clear purpose and a clear path. I think eliminating Christianity from Western governments is something that socialists and progressives want to do, because they know that any country with a strong moral foundation in Jesus Christ is a lot harder to manipulate.
When he emphasized family, when he emphasized marriage, when he emphasized having kids, he was on to something.
Why do you think during communist revolutions they ban religion? You know, I mean, it's because people's faith gives them a well to draw from to give them strength.
And the reason why he was on it was because he knew that the left would not spend so much time denigrating these institutions, whether it be the church, whether it be marriage, whether it be the family. He knew there had to be a reason they spent so much time trying to systematically dismantle those things and to replace them with something else.
Right. That's kind of what I was saying.
And I can tell you right now, for everybody that's looking at me skeptically or thinking that I'm advocating an easy way out or I'm advocating a platitude, I promise you I'm not. I know what it is to put my life on the line for something I believe in.
I think we need to stop balkanizing so much, and I think we need to agree on some very base level principles. And then we can have a country again. Number one, Christ is king. Number two, English is our language. And number three, reverence for the parts of our founding fathers that are to be revered. And no bitching about fucking slavery. It's over. The founding fathers were, yes, they were men of their time. They made mistakes, but they were brave men. Benjamin Franklin said, either we will hang together or we will surely hang separately. And I think when you destroy those foundational things like a common religion, a common language, and a common culture, it becomes very easy to split people apart and destroy a country from the inside. So I think we got to get people back on that page. Because the further we got away from that page, the more fucked up things got. You know? Joey Caravello says, did you know Hitler wasn't too fond of Christianity? Yes. Neither was Himmler, especially. They followed the purely European Germanic traditions. That is true. And they weren't big fans with the Catholics, but the Catholics were nice to him, so they allowed him to be a useful tool. And also because Mussolini was in Italy and he didn't want Hitler fucking with the Pope. And the Pope kind of took a hands-off approach towards World War II. But, you know, he kind of should. He should. It's Christians, brothers and sisters in Germany, too. Crowder Wears Panties says, I'm fighting the Jewish power by worshiping a Jewish God, following a Jewish holy book, and defending Jewish laws. Well, I mean, Christians have to have their beliefs, right? I mean, they have the New Testament. Rusty Grammer says, Jesus turns the other cheek. His followers fight to the death, whether the enemy or are their own. He judges us all in the end. Joey Caravello says, Christians who hate Jews, okay, but I think the salvation of Western society lives with our own traditions, not some Middle Eastern stuff. Maybe, but what are those traditions? What are those things? That's what I mean. I'm not saying that the Jesus Christ answer is the greatest answer of all time. It's the pure end all be all. I'm saying find me something better. And until then, let's take the one that works best. Papa Shab says paganism is for queers. Skeezy Whitefish says being the good guy really sucks. The good guy is always weighed down by the values and virtues that make them the good guy. That's why the good guys always struggle in the beginning. And the thing about war is that you usually win it by losing a little bit of yourself and becoming more like the thing you fought, you know? Or in the Russians' case, worse than the thing you fought. Riding Dirty Llama says, well, someone in here is going down like a handbasket. Taste Fairy says Monday and Tuesdays can be called the Spud and the Dud. I don't keep mashed potatoes in my pockets. Joey Caravello says only the pagan traditions in Europe who went gay were the ones like Romans and Greeks who mixed with Jews. Oh, Jesus. McBuster says wrong. The Vatican was pro-Nazi. They tried to take a stance of non-intervention. No, the Vatican did not support Nazi Germany. Instead, it adopted a policy of neutrality. I thought that's what I said. Condemned Nazi ideology, and during the war, Pope Pius XI and Pope Pius XII publicly opposed it. While the Vatican signed a concordat with the Nazi regime in 1933 to protect German Catholics, and the church was criticized for its wartime silence, it also provided assistance to Jews during the war and was itself attacked by the Nazis. So it's easy to attack Catholics. I get it. I understand. But what's a church supposed to do? Be like, yeah, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. The Vatican's raising an army against the Germans. I mean, they stayed out as much as they could. Hitler wanted to promise the Palestinians their own country. He wanted to promise them a huge swath if they would help him. But then also Hitler was entertaining other ideas of giving the Jews a country in the Middle East. So he was kind of playing both sides a little bit because he wanted that. He needed that Middle Eastern oil for his war machine. Mad Move says, I think everything we were taught in school about World War II was a lie. I've been saying this lately. I think the German people have been getting a really shitty deal historically. I think the German people were living in a sinful, disgusting shithole, and they had their pride destroyed, their civic pride destroyed, their national pride destroyed. They weren't patriotic anymore. They were depressed as all fuck. Inflation out the ass. The Weimar Republic had turned into a den of degeneracy. Berlin was disgusting with transism, homosexuality, prostitution all over the place. The German people were fed up and they wanted to be proud again. The Nazis came along and said, we will make you proud to be German again and we will show you whose fault it is. And the German people weren't necessarily like, oh, we should kill all the Jews. The German public just wanted to feel proud again. They wanted to get this filth and this disgustingness and this rot out of their country. And they wanted to feel patriotic again, and they wanted to have a successful, vibrant Germany they could be proud of. They turned to the Nazis because they promised them that. You know, it's not like the German people one day, for no reason at all, just decided we're going to start throwing Jews into ovens. That's not what the German people voted for. They just wanted to be proud again. And they elected something that went quite a bit further than that. Turtle Steel Shell says the object of war is not to die for your country, but to make the other bastard die for his. General George S. Patton. General George S. Patton, by the way, who said we fought the wrong enemy in World War II. He did. Sweden was also neutral, but sold the chemicals used to exterminate people. Yes. Red Fox Mad with $1 says the Vatican Army is actually a reference to the Pontifical Swiss Guard, a military unit responsible for protecting the Pope, the Apostolic Palace, and Vatican City. Yes, they wear the pantaloons. They wear the, fancy pants. Skeezy Whitefish says Hitler tried deportation first. Mad Move says, I heard World War II was more about the bankers being expelled from Germany. The bankers were Jews, and thus the narrative began. Well, Germany felt that the bankers were causing the inflation, fucking over their economy, and also basically extracting Germany's wealth to give it to France and England to satisfy the terms of the Versailles Treaty. And it was the Germans weren't being left enough to feed themselves. And then the government tried to inflate their way out of it, and we know how that works. Turtle Steel Shell says, we can't die for them. We will not allow them to make others die for us. We will stand up for our neighbors. Mad Move says, Europe attacked Germany to protect the banker class and keep Jews wealthy. I'm just saying that the narrative of the narrative about the German people is far more complicated than history makes it seem. It seems like they make it sound like everybody was on board with the Holocaust in Germany and all that. They just wanted the Nazis to restore civic pride. That's what the German people wanted. And look, while it was going well for them, they weren't raising a lot of objections. Let's just put it that way. All right, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you so much. Sanford's son put us over for next week. We're going to start next week of evening shows already into the goal. So I thank you very much for that. Guys, I want to thank you for taking what was a difficult end of the week, these last couple of evening shows, and giving us some laughs, talking about this in a way that didn't just make everybody depressed all the time, getting into some interesting conversations and some interesting ideas, staying open-minded, whether you agreed or disagreed. I really appreciate the way you guys have handled it. It's been a lot of fun to do these shows with you, and I hope we can continue it on. Join us for tomorrow for Rumble Link Friday. We're going to celebrate another perfect week for the toe. We're going to sit back. Hopefully the links you guys choose are a fun distraction. I mean, sure, we can do some Charlie Kirk stuff too. You can send us some clips of his fun debates. But mostly, I want us to go into the weekend having fun. So take it easy. Have a great rest of your night. I'm going to actually take NyQuil for the good reason this time and rest up. Thank you.